Fatman Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernard.
Hey! Holy fuck, welcome to this emergency session of Fatman Beyond, where we can talk about the Captain Marvel trailer. My God. But before we get there, how you been?
I've been all right, man. You got it in one. Fatman Beyond.
I did. I don't need help anymore.
Yeah, nice job, man.
No, I don't. It's so funny because I just smoked too, so it should have smoked away, but I was present. The whole time I was walking from the back, I'm like, Fatman Beyond, Fatman Beyond, Fatman Beyond. It is, I'm sorry we're starting so late. That's on me. Although you were, did you
I was
get
a little
here
late too, yeah.
as well? I don't know what the fuck is going on in town. We can't blame this one on Quentin Tarantino. The Hollywood Bowl is doing a big show. I know they are because Donnell Rawlings, my co-star in Hollyweed, texted me this morning to be like, do you want to come to the Hollywood Bowl to see me, Chappelle, Lauryn Hill, De La Soul? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just woke up to the greatest offer ever. And then I saw on Twitter, like, somebody wrote, Captain Marvel's been up for an hour and you haven't reacted. And I was like, everything about today is good. Like, everything's coming up Millhouse. And then I forgot we have a show.
Yeah, sorry.
So I couldn't go to that fucking show. So I had to tell him, like, oh shit, I can't go. So that's what's happening at the Bowl. So
Yeah.
Chappelle fucked up traffic. But I don't know what's going on down here, why it was so clogged.
Well, I mean,
here.
Lauryn Hill is also notoriously late for shit, so the show might not have started. It might not start for another hour.
I may be able to get done with this show, go to
It's
that
still
show.
over
Does she have a reputation for that?
She does.
Really?
Yeah.
For just like the show starts when it starts?
Color
Aren't
people-
all artists like that though?
Yeah, I guess. But, you know, color people time also plays in there a little bit.
What the fuck, Mark? I don't even know if you're allowed to say that anymore. What the fuck?
I tried, my grandfather was born in 1900.
The fuck, serious?
Yeah, he's since passed, because otherwise he'd be like the fucking oldest person in the world. But
118.
118. But he was just old enough to, like, I got on board with your fancy radio and your color television and your phones in every room of your house, but he would never stop referring to black people as colored.
Really?
That was just his thing, because that's what, for better and most likely for worse, people had called him for his entire life. Right. So trying to break that, I was like, you know, Granddad, we're Afro-Americans now. I was like, that's bullshit. Also, I don't believe in dinosaurs, which he didn't believe in.
There's a lot to unpack here, man. But let's table the race issue for a moment to just be like, why? Why didn't he believe in dinosaurs?
His rationale was, I don't believe anything that big ever actually walked on the earth.
What?
Because if they did, where'd they go? And I'd be like, well, comets, Granddad, like, this fucking nature did some shit. Like, don't buy it. It's like, what do you think is in the Museum of Natural History, which you took me to, and we walked under the giant fucking skeletons? Like, it's a fucking hoax. Also, moon landing. Didn't believe it at all either.
The fuck, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, your granddad would have been so at home right now.
The world
the era of the internet, man. He would be like, I knew I was right. Look at all these people who believe me.
And
wow.
His logic was somewhat unassailable, because he's like, why are you going to go all the way up there for? What are you going to get? And I was like, Granddad, I don't know. You're right. What did they get other than
That's where all the dinosaurs went. So they had to bring some back.
Science and progress. He's like, I don't believe it. Like, all right, fine. It's all good. By the way, we're not colored anymore.
My grandfather was the other guy, white as fuck, and had zero problem using the word colored back then either, man, sad to say. But he was an angry dude. He was a boxer. Like, he had been a professional boxer, and actually is in the boxing Hall of Fame, has like a record and shit like that, had a belt, belted somehow. Ooh. Some relative of ours has his belt. And then he married my grandmother, and then the story when I was growing up was like, grandma made him quit boxing, and for some reason I just, like, I was a kid all the way up till fairly recently. I bought it. I was just like, yeah, I guess, like, she was like, that ain't safe, you shouldn't do it. But I, like, when I'm not a boxer, but I too am like, I'm gonna get in front of people for a living, like, and not do a real thing. I don't do a real job. It's like a make pretend job. And boxing sports is the same kind of thing, getting paid to play something that's not curing cancer or something. It's a pastime. It's an entertainment of sorts and stuff. So I understand the idea of like being up in front of people and the idea of not being up in front of people anymore. And if it's true that my grandmother was just like, I want you to stop boxing. Think about it, dude. You were in the ring, you fucking punch somebody the fuck out, and everyone's like, wah! And suddenly you're gonna give that up because your wife's like, no, I don't like that. And you're like, okay. Like you were a boxer. You used to rock people in the mush for a living and shit. So suddenly as I got older, man, I started thinking about it. I was like, that's just bullshit. It ain't as simple as like she told him to retire and he retired. The story behind the story, and they're all dead so I can't back this up, is my grandmother had the magic pussy, man, because in order to get that guy to be like, I will leave behind the godhood of in the ring, like where I'm a champion and I have a fucking belt. And just because she's like, get out of the ring, she must have had something going on, man, where he's like, you don't know what she could do.
The finger up the ass, the magic swirl, all of that shit.
I mean, what was this? This is like the 20s or 30s or something? All she probably had to do was like, here's a little ass. And he was like, fuck boxing. And like,
I will be entertained at home.
Yeah. That's the only way. That's what soothed that savage beast. But yeah, he was also, because he didn't box anymore, he was always so damn hostile. Not to me, but I remember him, in traffic, he was fucking yelling at everybody. He was a guy that would just fucking yell at people, and he had a fish hook under his.
Fuck?
Yeah, under, you know, like I know what you did last summer. He had that under the fucking car. So like one time we were driving up to the city and shit, and we got into an altercation on the Garden State Parkway, like fucking some traffic incident. He fucking pulled over. The other guy pulled over. The other guy gets out of the car. My grandfather gets out with this giant fucking hook. The other guy gets in his fucking car. My grandfather chases the car down the parkway. And my grandmother's yelling, get in the car, Dixie! And fucking shit like that. His name wasn't even Dixie. That was the weird thing. So yeah, he was pretty rough dude, yeah.
My grandfather did tell a story once about this crazy white man who chased him with a fish hook.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. In the TV movie of our lives, it starts there. Dissolved to later
60
on.
years later.
Yes.
We're telling dick jokes in front of people at a bar.
See how far we've come, grandfathers?
The defiant ones, too.
Oh my God, that's funny. All right, what else were we talking about? What was I up to? I'm leaving tomorrow. I go up to Vancouver to shoot Supergirl, so I'll be gone for a little while. Yes. Looking very forward to that. But did I read on Twitter? Are you doing something here at the canteen in my absence?
I think I might do a thing.
Because talk about the thing, and then I'll give you props for the title, which I really enjoyed. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think maybe on the 2nd of October, I'll hold it down, and we'll just do a special Castle Rock themed episode
Of?
Blackman Beyond.
Blackman Beyond. That is branding of the highest order, my friend. I thought that was adorable. So you'll do like the show like you did with the round table.
Yeah, a little bit, but just me, I think. I might
Solo? You're going to fucking rock the mic by yourself?
I might try and rock it by myself.
And I'm not even going to be here to see it?
It'll be on the internet, though.
Oh, that's true. I can watch it later on and shit. And if I was here, I would just join you and be like, hi.
Yeah, like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Kev's not saying anything for 2 hours.
Could you imagine? I was like sitting there just watching you the whole time. Like, you're doing great.
Go get him, Tiger.
Do the thing about your grandfather again.
It's a good one. They love that.
So you're gonna go up solo and just fucking
I'll
hold
see if
down
I can.
the fort.
I'll see if I can find a guest who may or may not have had something to do with the show.
Right.
But yeah, I'll talk a little bit of how I got there, what the experience was like, and then answer any lingering questions that I can answer about what the fuck happened at the end of that season.
Is there a question? Like, is there a lot of people? Is it like the end of Lost? Going, what the fuck?
A little bit. There's some open-ended things that happen at the end of that I can. What? Better. Oh, you're sweet. But yeah, so yeah, that's what we'll do. I think we'll keep the home fires burning for you while you're up in the Great White North.
Fucking aye. And then next week you're coming up to the Great White North for a show that we're doing at the Rio Theater up there, which is really fucking fun. That'll be fun doing a show away from which we forgot to key in on, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, as always, right here in the heart of the Scum and Villainy Cantina on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, California. Put your hands together so everyone at home knows you.
Yeah, man.
I applaud that. That's awesome.
We should have a good time. I hope. Yeah. If not, I'll never do it again.
Yeah, no, but fucking, I'm sure everyone will come out.
They were so mean to me without you.
Yeah, it wasn't the same thing at all.
Just standing there all sad by myself, like. I hope not.
Yeah, don't.
Oh.
So it sounds like you sold 3 tickets.
I
right
know.
There. You're well on your way.
If those are the only people to show up, I'll just go sit over there. Hey guys,
that'd be amazing, man. 1-man show with a 3-man audience and stuff.
When I had a panel at Comic-Con this past year, the one that I got my Inkpot Award at.
Yes.
My spotlight panel, and I was telling a buddy of mine that I was a little concerned that nobody would be there, and he told me the story of this author who would always keep a $20 bill in his pocket every time he had a reading or signing, whatever, and he'd go there and he'd say, if enough people show up that I could buy each of them a drink with the $20 in my pocket, that's what we'll go do. And if not, if there's more people, then we'll do whatever, we'll have a reading, a signing, whatever it was. So that's how it's going to be on the second. Like if enough people show up that I could buy you all a drink with $20, we'll just do that. We're in a fucking bar.
Yes, they're easy to find drinks.
Then we'll have a little soiree.
It'd be amazing though, very intimate show around one of those tables in the booth.
Yeah, hey guys.
It'll be like that scene from Star Wars where they met that guy and his space dog. Yep. Speaking of which, I just rewatched Solo.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a good ass time watching it at home. It's available on like iTunes, I imagine other forums and shit. I don't know if it's on Blu-ray yet, but like I watched it on iTunes. Fucking fun as shit. Watching it at home. Yeah. And
expectations are lower that you're in the comfort of your own home?
No, but I liked it at the theater too. So for me, it's just like, oh, I knew I was right. It was more like that. I'd be curious to see you, you watch it.
No, I'll take a look again. Because again, I didn't hate it at all.
No, neither of us did.
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay.
But it was after the other day we did a show on Batman Day where you went through the article where Jonathan Kasdan was talking about like here's some highlights and stuff, and he shouted out the scene of Han in the cockpit for the first time, and I couldn't remember if it was the first time ever or the first time he slips behind the captain's chair or whatever the fuck. But I watched both of those scenes pretty closely, and like they're pretty good. I think I hope he's talking about the first time Han walks into the cockpit, because there definitely was. Like, that felt more emotional. It felt like there was the music kind of quietly swelled and shit like that. But hands down, the Chewie scene is the finest hour of that movie. It's a really like wonderful meet cute scene. The fact that he could speak his language and shit was really kind of a cool idea. Something that I never thought of, because we've never seen him once in the movies be like he just talks to him and shit. Like he understands him and then speaks English at him. But this was the first time that he was busting Wookiee at him. But
now it makes Han Solo feel like a little bit more of a dick, though, in that he never speaks to Chewie in his native language.
Makes that Wookiee work for it.
Serious. Like, you speak it, motherfucker. Why don't you say something? No, you do all the fucking work, space dog.
See, that's the Solo movie everyone wanted to see. You know, Han bitching at Chewie and Chewie bitching at Han like an old married couple and shit like that. Why you make me talk in this language all the time? Yeah, man, but it's definitely worth a watch. I want to be. I'm just gonna say this. I thought it would go without saying. I thought I never had to say this, but I saw a tweet today because I retweeted, the fucking trailer for Captain Marvel and talked about how I dug it and shit. Like, fucking take every nickel I have, Marvel. And there was like a couple people, like most people, were like, you're fucking right. Fucking Kev, well said. Lead us to the promised land. Like, everyone on the same page. But a very small percentage, about 5 tweets of people going like, how much are they paying you to say this bullshit, man? Are you shilling for Marvel? And I just want to fucking go on the record as saying, like, you're crazy if you think Marvel has to pay anybody to say something nice about them or to hip people to movies that are coming, particularly to an audience that's pre-sold. Like, I'll just flat out deny it. I'll be honest. Like, nobody fucking pays me to say nice things. If they do, I will let you know. I just like to talk about the shit I like to talk about. And that fucking trailer I dug. I was like, oh shit, fucking A, I can't wait. And I guess like some people, if they don't react to it, they think like, you must be paid by these fools. I'm just enthusiastic. I swear to you, I don't get any fucking money. They don't have to pay me. That's the beauty of fucking fandom, man. They figured out a long time ago, like, oh my God, we harness the fan base. They'll do all the work for us. I'm just a little more high profile or vociferous than the average fucking bear. But no, fucking nobody's ever given me a dime to say any nice things or say any of the things I say. You hear about the shit that I love. I love talking about the shit I love. You know what you never hear about? Shit that I hate. Or the shit that's like, meant nothing to me or whatever like that. So when you see me sucking the dick of something and you're like, oh my God, how much are they paying him? They're not. I'm just that fucking stupid. So there it is.
For the record, I would like to say that I haven't been paid to say anything nice about anything, but I would take the money. If they're gonna start paying motherfuckers for shit, I'll take that money.
I'm just hoping like to get invited to a premiere or get a free ticket, but that's not even why I say anything. I say it because I like it. Like I like doing this podcast because it's not about my life. Like Smodcast is about me and my world, and Jay and Silent Bob Get Old is also kind of about me and my world and stuff. Hollywood Babylon and this are like, I get to talk about the shit that I like. Long before I was like a person that made shit, I was just a fan. And if I'd never made something, guess what? I'd be a fucking fan. So like this, it's in a weird way, this show allows me to get back to the guy I was before I had a career. And that guy gave me that career. Because I thought about it a lot. I'm like, why the fuck do you go out like on a fucking weekday night and stand in front of strangers and talk about shit that's not yours? Like in a world of branding and selling, that doesn't make fucking sense. You're selling somebody else's stuff. But it's not about selling somebody else's stuff. It's just about, oh my God, isn't this fucking cool? Because that's what I used to do before I had a job. So like now that I have a job and shit worked out and I found a family and I lived happily ever after, now I get to circle back and fucking do the same shit I was doing before I had to get busy doing all that. So I just love talking about this shit. I don't do it because somebody pays me. You know who pays me? Weight Watchers. And I'm very clear about that. Like I'm a Weight Watchers ambassador, and they didn't just, there was no, king or queen that dubbed me that out of nicety and shit like that. That I'm paid to talk about Weight Watchers when I talk about weight and stuff like that. But I have to put that up. If I put that up, something a tweet or an Instagram, I put ad and shit. If you don't see ad on it, like that's just shit I like, man. That's just me trying to jump into the conversation. Same shit I'd be doing if I didn't have the job I had. If I worked at Quick Stop still in the age of the internet, I'd be on my fucking phone being like, did you see Captain Marvel? Because just like everybody else, I too am looking for a distraction from the fact that one day I'm gonna fucking die. And I got close this year. So now Captain Marvel trailer seems even better than it would have pre-heart attack. Because I'm like, you fuckers don't know I saw the grave, and very dramatic. So yeah, I would just like to clear that up. I saw a few tweets of people going like, you're a shill. I'm like, a shill gets paid. I just do it for the love.
Yeah, I'm also looking for distractions, and these days more than most days ever, from shit like, hey, why is Toad trending on Twitter?
I saw that. I woke up this morning and Mario Kart was trending on Twitter. I was like, what the fuck happened? Did Mario Kart die? Like, or did Mario Kart, fucking like say something racist or me too somebody? Like, why is Mario Kart trending? And then I found out why it was trending. I was just like, so that's what his dick looks like.
And the best part was Nintendo put out this tweet, which was like, hey, we see Mario Kart and Toad are trending. Yay! It's like, oh, guys. oh, sweetheart, you just don't know yet.
Just read one tweet back.
That was like when Castle Rock, I always feel bad about this, when their official Twitter account, when they first started up and running, and we had a premiere date and the first trailers were out, and they put some intern, some young schmuckety-schmuck on their social media feeds, reaching out to influencers about the show. And so I get this tweet. It's like, hey, we see that you like things like film and genre. Can I tell you a little bit about Castle Rock? And I was like, I don't mean to tell you, I don't mean to break it to you, but I know about it already. Read the bio. And then I start getting emails from like Hulu PR, like, oh shit, we are so sorry. Because that tweet went to like retweeted 1,000 times and my showrunner's calling me. It's like, hey, could you like not blow up our own social feeds online, maybe? It's like, just hope that JJ doesn't see this fucking tweet or you will never work in this town again. And it almost got there.
Hey, can we tell you about Castle Rock? No, but can I tell you about Castle Rock?
It's like,
I know where the whole season's going.
let me tell you how it ends. No.
Oh my God. All right, enough with the fucking chit chat. You got news?
I got a fucking Captain Marvel trailer, man.
That's before the news?
That is the
All right,
news.
before we get to the news, let's do the breaking news, the most important news of the
Yeah.
day. Ladies and gentlemen, I woke up this morning and Captain Marvel had happened all over the world. By way of Good Morning America, Brie Larson got on and introduced it from the Air and Space Museum or something, tying in very closely, of course, to the Carol Danvers character's origins. And they released the trailer.
Yes.
I didn't see it as part of Good Morning America. Like everyone else, I saw it as part of the Twitter feed or anywhere else online and stuff. It is, look, my heart soared, but my ego plummeted in the toilet when I saw them go, her hero. Yeah. I've been on this Best of All Possible Worlds 48 years and never saw that coming. Never saw, oh my God, if you just put an O on her, it says hero. Like, fuck the special effects. That got me. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's fucking breathtaking and fucking brilliant. Add to it, it opens with, you know, fucking our main character falling through the sky into the roof of a video store. And I was just like, I used to work in one of those. This feels very personal.
This is my story.
The 90s, I might be in this. Oh my God, we waited to see who was going to save us from Thanos and shit, and they finally gave us a glimpse. My favorite image in the trailer, other than like a single image, there's a little triptych of images that is very powerful, which I imagine we'll talk about, but single shot was they have her wearing the helmet with the glowing fucking eyes. I took a screenshot of that and put it up on my laptop because it teared shit like that does it for me, man. Like that took me right into the comic book. That took me to my childhood. I was like, that looks fucked up and wonderful and perfect, and I can't believe we're in the world of glowing eyes on fucking helmets now. Like, oh my God, everything about this is fantastic. So many key moments. I was seeing Nick Fury age 12. Like, never mind, you know, he's got two eyes. Like, we know that Marvel de-aging process shit, like, works. We've seen it for little dollops in, you know, what, Iron Man, Civil War, and what was the other one?
Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man. But little dollops because it's fucking expensive. If he's as big as a character as the trailer lets on, every single shot of him is an expensive effect shot. And it looks like they're going for broke. Like, let's be honest, they got all the money so they could fucking do it and shit. But it's literally like anytime they show him, they got to dial him back to the Sam Jackson from what looks like Sam Jackson from maybe like circa Jungle Fever. Like, it's that young.
Yeah.
It's Jungle Fever without the beard, man. Like, I was looking at him going like, holy shit, he looks fucking young. Agent Coulson looks about the same age.
Yeah, but they
just like
some
three more hairs on his head. The fact that they are telling a story where she doesn't seem to remember. They're doing the amnesia thing of like, I think I had a life here, is intriguing. They haven't done that yet in a Marvel movie, so that means they're not going to do a traditional origin story. We're not going to see her blah, blah, blah. She's going to piece it together as the audience is piecing it together. So that's exciting, and they haven't really done that yet that I can think of in one of those Marvel movies. Seeing her in the end of the trailer, of course, being the costume that everybody knows was absolutely fucking thrilling. All of it, man. Them going to space. We've seen the image of the Skrulls in, you know, Entertainment Weekly, and there's a brief flash of them, which leads to, like, you know, if you're a comic book fan, a great moment in the trailer we're like Captain Marvel rocks an old woman in the face, just like, and you know, you're like, ah, shit, she just fucking outed a Skrull. But people that don't know comics are like, why is she hitting elderly women on the subway?
But
like,
I'm intrigued.
You know, yeah. I loved it, and you know, once again, like I was happy to see it's like fucking March because that's like 2 months before Infinity War. What a like double fucking nut punch that's gonna be, man. Where it's like, here's Captain Marvel, and just when we're not even done with the Captain Marvel conversation, when all of a sudden they're like, here's what happened to all the heroes that died, you know, and we get to see the end of that story. Can't fucking wait. What was your take on the trailer?
I mean, all the things you said apply, and they're all true, and they're all wonderful. The thing that gripped me the most was there's a series of shots, 2 triptychs of shots, of Carol Danvers as a girl and as a like sort of Air Force trainee and as what seems to be a Kree warrior falling down, and then the same sort of shots of her in those same time periods standing up, and then just that right now where we are, when we are in the world, where we are socially and gender-wise, the fact that the iconography of this seems to be standing up and like clenching your fist and getting after it. It reminds me a little bit of in the Wonder Woman trailer, like when she climbs up the fucking thing into no man's land. The power.
Yes, absolute power, but giving props to that Wonder Woman trailer.
Oh, yeah.
That was everything. Like
was
as
everything.
much as this Captain Marvel trailer is wonderful, but I believe they're calling it a like teaser trailer or something like that. But and this is not putting it down. That Wonder Woman trailer was fucking transcendent for that moment. I mean, it's a movie, it's a moment right out of the movie, but they were so smart to put that in the fucking trailer because it just fucking took your legs out from under you and your breath away and stuff.
Totally, but it seems as if part of the iconography, part of the symbolism of these movies is standing up.
Yeah.
And getting ready to fight. Because it's a fucking fight now. Apparently, every other week it's a fight for something we didn't know we were fighting for. And watching women have to endure the slings of arrows of a life, but standing up against it and fighting for it. And just fucking gritting your teeth and staring into the wind and taking it. Like, that's super fucking powerful.
Yeah.
And really, really moving. And as contemporary as anything could be, that's also seems to be generated to be somewhat eternal. Like it is a movie of today, wrapping its arms around all of this sort of myth-making of 30, 40 years worth of comic book storytelling. I loved it to death.
While being set in the 90s.
Totally.
Yeah, and that too is also an interesting approach of like, oh, right on. Fucking like that, we haven't seen that yet, or we've seen flashbacks, but a movie set in that period. There were little flashes, they show the beeper. Not the same one from the end of Infinity War, but there's one that has a distress message that's like, holy shit, it's got to be part of it. Jude Law, very briefly in the trailer. Why? Why do you think? What are they hiding?
I'm not sure.
Is he Marvel?
Ooh.
Do you think so?
Could be.
But it's confirmed? He is Marvel. So what are they not? Why only like a brief image of him in the trailer? Because the rest of the movie, he looks like classic Marvel. He's a Skrull trying to be Marvel? Does she punch him in the face?
Had better.
Yeah, they're keeping him out of the. They're not leaning on him at all. Going, look, we got fucking Jude Law. Like they're selling Marvel, which is another thing. You watch that trailer, it's not even like Brie Larson, the fucking movie star Brie Larson. Like she's definitely Captain Marvel. She looks amazing as Carol Danvers, but they're not selling the movie on her. They're not selling the movie on Jude Law. They're selling the movie on the character.
Yeah, it is not one of those trailers that's starring these people, Academy Award nominee, Samuel L. Jackson, blah, 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 blah. No, it is just, here is the shit that you want. Here's all that you're here for.
It's also, they have the world so fucking trained that they're like, it doesn't even fucking matter. You know you have to see this to see the next Avengers movie. So fuck you and take it. But who wouldn't want to see it, man? It's like right now, like we're gonna see some history in Marvel. Like it's weird that they didn't start with a Black Widow movie. That would have seemed logical. But hey, man, I bet you by the time we're done watching Captain Marvel, we'll be like, well, shit, that was the way to give a female character their own movie in the Marvel universe or something like that.
Right. Not to just be a part of it, but to ultimately save the Marvel Universe.
I mean, that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that's true. That's what we're being set up for. It's like we know for a fact without her, fucking whatever happens in Avengers 4 doesn't get to happen. So Marvel helps Ant-Man get out of the quantum zone. That's your guest, Kevin Feige? That's for the people at home. That's a good fucking guess. Do you know that, or are you just putting that together? Theory? I like your theory. I want to pay to see your movie, sir. Afterwards, please. All right, yeah, man. Fucking once again, they've done it. Like fucking, they just tee it up. They know how to fucking sell. It was so smart to start with a blockbuster because right away, the whole fucking world goes, wait, something's wrong. You know. I remember that, but it's been a minute. So, and then there's a bunch of kids who are just like, what is that? You know, they've never seen a blockbuster.
It's the equivalent of, on like Microsoft Word, the save icon is still a floppy disk.
Yeah, is it?
And, yeah, it's still like, and it's one of those shitty like hard ones, like a whatever. So my son's like, what is that supposed to be? It's a disk, but what did it do? It's what you saved shit on. Why? You would like move this shit from computer to computer? Didn't you have email? No. All right. Well, they should update that then, right?
All we had was history, son. And we were a living part of it.
No dinosaurs, though.
Talk to Granddad. They never existed.
Nope.
All right. So, yeah, once again, fucking Marvel's done. What's the next comic book trailer we're owed? We got a first Aquaman trailer, so there'll probably be a second Aquaman trailer. Joker, they're starting to shoot now, so it'll be a long time before
did you see that image? The image of Joaquin
Is that part of the news?
In as much as there was a picture of him.
Right. Let's save that for the news. Before we dive into the news, there's one other trailer that dropped today that I thought was really fucking great. Of course, it wasn't going to get the attention that Captain Marvel got. They made a movie about Laurel and Hardy in their later years called Stan and Ollie, and it stars Steve Coogan as Laurel. And fucking John C. Reilly in an almost like unrecognizable, fucking prosthetic playing Hardy, the old Hardy, late in their lives when they went over to England and started doing a stage show and shit. And they fought. Movie looks fucking fantastic, man. Yeah, like, I was never, like, when I was a kid, Laurel and Hardy would be on in syndication and stuff. But my dad, of course, like he'd always be like, watch these guys, they're hysterical. And I would always, even at age 5, be like, Dad, they're dead. But he grew up watching them and stuff like that.
Was yours a Laurel and Hardy house or an Abbott and Costello house? Because it feels, really?
Both.
I didn't think you could do both.
My dad definitely liked both. And definitely he leaned more toward Laurel and Hardy because it was mostly quiet, like it wasn't dialogue driven and shit. But he respected them both, and he also liked the fucking Dead End Kids, which when I was a child, then they came on, the Bowery Boys, the Dead End Kids. They had like 40-year-olds playing teenagers, and even me as a 5-year-old, I'm like, this is sick. Like so, I only went so far with the old man. All right,
Did you watch the Emmys?
Did you?
I did.
I only watched the part that everybody talked about when the director of the Oscars won an Emmy and used that moment. It was a beautiful moment and shit where he was like, my mom, passed away 2 months ago and she loved my girlfriend and I love my girlfriend and fucking, she's like, why don't you ever call me your girlfriend? He's like, because I want to call you my wife. And the whole fucking place lit up, man. And it was genuine, because that place is full of liars, right? Actors and actors. So, of course, they're all programmed to be like, must put on happy emotion. Like, selfie. But instead, they fucking genuinely reacted. Like the same, I've seen people like live propose in other settings and shit. And the audience does freak the fuck out. Like it's almost as if people are taking their clothes off. They're like, holy shit, we're seeing something real here. And it was beautiful. He brought that lady up, fucking gave her a ring that was his mom's and shit. He was a true showman. And he even said to the director of the Grammy or the Emmys, like, you gotta give me a minute here, man. Like he was talking shop to the guy and the guy gave him full fucking time. Because these are not like famous people, so you'd imagine they'd be like, play these fuckers off. but it was so magical, and it seemed like the highlight of the evening and shit.
Yeah.
It just shut the fucking house. It just rocked it, man. She brought the house down. Shut the house. She brought the house down.
Yeah, the rest of the show was not that exciting.
They didn't have that happening every 15 minutes.
They should have, though. Just fucking take people off the street. Who's got a girlfriend that they really, really like?
Are you in love? Get in here, man.
Do you have a ring? We'll give you one. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I suppose as a nerd, it was good to see Game of Thrones win for Best Drama.
They did?
They did.
Is that the first time?
No, but it's always nice.
Oh, so they did it again.
Yeah. Although the place that I work that is totally not where they are doing post on Game of Thrones, they had a lovely sort of celebration we overheard from where our office was. It's like, what are they doing upstairs? Like, I think there's an Emmy up there. Oh, good for them. Could we see some of this? No? Fine. Congrats, assholes. We like cake too.
You gotta get up to some of them office shenanigans you see in fucking sitcoms and shit, where you guys stay after hours, break into the Game of Thrones side of things, and take their fucking Emmy, man. And then, like, take their fucking, like, what you do is you take their Emmy, and they're all like, where's the fucking Emmy and shit? And then a day later, you sneak back in, you leave the Emmy, and you leave a fucking camera. Like one of those Polaroids that you send away to develop. Do they still make those anymore? Disposable cameras?
Just for blackmail.
And you leave the camera there, and then they're like, what's with the camera? And they got to get it developed. And then when they get it developed, then they're looking through the pictures, there's a picture of the Emmy in your ass. And you're like, Game of Thrones.
I thought you were going to go, we just send back pieces of the Emmy, one by one. Like there's one of the little fucking lightning bolts and like the big globe. Do you want the rest of it?
Would you be more mad if somebody stole your Emmy, busted it into pieces and sent it back to you, or stole it, put it back, then you developed a camera and saw that it was in their ass?
I think I could crazy glue an Emmy back together.
Fuck that. I'm going ass cam all the way, man. Because it's not like I'm going to get the Emmy back and be like, oh, you've been missing. Just going to let it sit right there. I was like, it was gone, now it's back. St. Anthony found it. You know, and fucking move on and shit.
But what if you like to stick it in your ass, too?
Yeah. It's when everybody leaves and shit. And I'd look at all the pictures and I'm like, what a coincidence. We have so much in common. What else happened on that show?
Tandy Newton from Westworld.
Oh, I saw that speech where she goes, I don't even believe in God, but I'm going to thank her tonight.
Yeah.
That was a classy line and shit. I thought that was funny. Good for her, man.
Yeah.
She's awesome on that show.
She's fantastic.
Or at least season one. I haven't seen season two, but season one, she was amazing.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage won.
He's always amazing.
He's always going to win these things.
Yeah, he should. And legit should. And that's not just like, as a Game of Thrones fan, like, he's a fantastic actor.
The USS Callister episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
Best writing for a limited series.
That was Charlie wrote that himself,
Yeah.
Charlie Brooker?
Mm-hmm. Wow. And deep in the fucking categories, which they don't air on the broadcast.
Yeah.
But Rick and Morty won for Best Animated Series.
Oh, shit.
For the Pickle Rick episode.
Oh, shit.
The only one I've ever fucking seen is the one that won an Emmy.
It's an amazing episode.
Yeah.
It's probably, like, I love Rick and Morty and watch it religiously, and I've watched every episode multiple times, but I honestly think Pickle Rick might be, the most rewatchable episode, because you're like, holy fuck, look at how he kills that rat. Like, you know, you can, because they kill so many of them and shit, it goes by and you're like, ha ha ha, holy fuck, ha ha. By the time you get to your 20th viewing of Pickle Rick and shit, you're like, can't believe he ripped that one's fucking head off. And then you pause it and you call Muse and you're like, come over, let's watch this together, you know. So, and that's also the most shareable episode.
Yes.
Where you're like, hey, watch this. Like, to somebody who's never, I don't understand Rick and Morty. You're like, just fucking watch this. This will tell you the story. That's great, man. That's a wonderful, creative, imaginative episode. It's nice to hear they give out awards for shit I like, too.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And I think Robot Chicken also won an Emmy for Best Short Form
Good
Animated
for
Series.
Seth.
Yeah.
Brecken and shit, and boys and girls. Wow, that's awesome. Shit, the geeks did inherit the
The Geeks
earth.
did all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get into... And the Fonz. Yes, Henry Winkler.
I saw he won for Barry.
For Barry.
That show was wonderful. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen a single stitch.
It is really good. I watched it like when it was
I've heard
on.
great things.
It's really it's its own. You know, honestly, like this is not the highest compliment I could pay something, but it feels like an independent movie to me, like not a series. It's shot. Each episode is like an indie film. He directed a bunch of the episodes.
Yeah, I think the first 2 or 3 he did.
Really great job. Like, and I don't mean really great job like, oh, he directed himself well. Great composition, stunning composition, where I was like, oh, fuck, that's a great way to frame a shot. Why didn't I ever think of that? Because I'm not a great filmmaker like Bill Hader, apparently. Like, so I liked it quite a bit, and he's wonderful in it. I mean, when is fucking Henry Winkler not wonderful? Yeah. But he's really great in the show, and his arc was actually enjoyable and fun for him and shit. So he won for that.
Yeah, best supporting actor in a comedy.
And then he read a speech from. Did I understand? Like I read something online. He read the speech that he had prepared when he was like nominated back in the '70s or something. So the speech, like at the end of it, he was like, "Go to bed, boys," and his boys are like 50. That's what I heard. I hope that was true and stuff. But I saw a picture that he put up on Twitter of him and Ron Howard.
Aww.
And it was like, that's my childhood. There's the Fonz and Richie Cunningham together. Like, you know, obviously looking older. But it was so adorable that they like, you know, when I saw them together, they shared so much time. Like, not only that, they've been in Arrested Development together and stuff. They've been friends for years. But they shared this monumental time in their lives, which is long since gone, and they've both way moved past it and stuff. But they lived together in, for lack of a better description, happy days, Mark. And here they are years later as old men smiling in a picture. It was really, really sweet. What else? Anything else win that was interesting?
That's about it. Unless you loved The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which seems to win everything.
Did that win a bunch of awards?
Yeah.
It's a show about a lady in the 50s that becomes a comedian, right?
Yeah. Which I've never seen, but I hear it's lovely. But
by the lady who did
Amy Sherman Palladino, who did
Gilmore Girls. This is on their second season now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna dive in, man. Like sometimes it takes me a minute to catch up, but like it does keep winning awards, so it must be definitely worth a spin. All right, good for all those fucking people at the Emmys, man, and people that punched and didn't get punched at the Emmys, I guess. But let's move on, man. Marc Bernardin here used to be an entertainment journalist, and then he was an editor of some of this nation's finest periodicals, including Los Angeles Times and stuff. So he certainly fucking knows how to find the news. And what he
steal it from other people.
Yeah, it's a long way of saying Mark went to the internet and pulled up some fucking stories for us to talk about, and that's what we're gonna do. The first part of the show, man, is we talk about the news. Give it up for Marc Bernardin. He sniffed out some news. And this is a tricky fucking feat because we just did a show on like Saturday.
Yeah.
So Sunday, Monday, it's Tuesday night. How much news could have fucking happened other than Captain Marvel?
Hey, have you heard about this hot young director named Bryan Singer?
I believe he made that Kaiser Soze picture.
He did. He also made some X-Men movies.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
He also lived under a cloud of suspicion over rape of young boys, which
what?
There was a bit of a hullabaloo over parties he may or may not have thrown at his house that may or may not have had underage people there who may or may not have had sex. He also seems to not like to hang out on the movie sets for the movies he's directing.
You've heard that as well?
Yeah, he got fucked off from Bohemian Rhapsody and was replaced by an actor because he decided he just didn't want to be there anymore.
Is that the story?
That seems to be what happened. He just stopped showing up. And there was also some talk of that might have happened on one of the X-Men movies. That is unfounded, so don't sue me for libel. I'm just spreading rumors, which is probably not a good idea. But yes, at the very least.
This is the last episode of Fatman Beyond, everybody. I've just received a text from Bryan Singer's lawyer.
But yes, he has had some troubles as of late. But he still keeps getting work, apparently, including the new Red Sonja movie that Millennium Films is putting together. Were you a Red Sonja fan?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, no, but like, I wasn't even a big Conan fan. I like the Conan movie, of course, but I wasn't a big Conan comic book fan or into the literature or anything. And so, when I saw Conan when they made the movie. I saw both Conans in the theater, paid to see them with my own lawn mowing fucking money. And then when Red Sonja came out, I almost went to see it because, I remember back then we were like, Conan's in it? Oh, fuck, I want to go. But, then I didn't wind up doing it until it got to home video. That's where I finally saw it.
Yeah, and Schwarzenegger was in it, but not playing Conan the Barbarian.
That's right. That was the thing. Yeah. He wasn't playing Conan.
Because they didn't have the rights to it.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty interesting character, and Gail Simone has written a comic book that Dynamite put out for a while.
Yeah, Dynamite had a very successful run of that comic book recently.
Yeah, but and a friend of, at least me, if not the show, Ashley Miller, who co-wrote X-Men First Class and co-wrote Thor with Zack Stentz, real friend of the show.
2 wonderful movies.
Wrote the script, and they seem to be making this movie, and I just can't quite understand how one continues to work when that is your problem, seems to be not working that much. And why you wouldn't get a female director to make your Red Sonja movie.
That to me is the bigger question. Like, I thought we lived in that world now where it was just like, look, if you're doing Batgirl, shouldn't it be written by a woman and directed by a woman? Like, I thought we're living in a post-Wonder Woman world at this point. So it would be strange. It's just strange to hear that somebody's like, hey, we got an insanely empowered female-driven project, character of fantasy and fiction and shit. Like, I'm not saying she's up there with Wonder Woman, but like, to somebody who doesn't give a shit about this stuff, you could be like Red Sonja. She's kind of like Wonder Woman, She, kind of got a medieval thing. She's got a shield and a fucking knife or a sword or whatever the fuck. Like, there's an easy parallel to fucking make. So we saw what happened there and what the formula was for success. You just imagine whoever's making Red Sonja would be like, yeah, let's get a woman to direct this because well begun is half done and shit like that.
Or if you're not going to get a woman, maybe get a dude that's not this dude. Of all the dudes you could choose, this is the dude you choose.
Who's making that movie?
Millennium. The guys, they did all the Expendables movies.
Oh.
Yes. You seem like you have thoughts.
No. I mean, work's fucking work, right? Like, and at the end of the day, why does he get asked? Because his name's on a list of people that know how to make $100 million or more movie. And, I guess he's gettable right now for those guys, for Millennium.
According to this story, which broke in the Hollywood Reporter, sources say Millennium will pay Singer top dollar for the assignment, which is seen as a step towards rehabilitating the director's image. Singer was fired by Fox after repeatedly not showing up for work on the set of its Queen biopic Bohemian Rhapsody, among other work offenses. In December, he was sued by Cesar Sanchez Guzman, who accused the director of raping him when he was a 17-year-old boy in 2003. It wasn't the first time that Singer had faced such an accusation. So yeah, let's give that dude some work.
You acid-tongued bitch. Wow. Well, Hollywood never seems to mystify, and wow.
Yeah. Should I go on to the next one, or you want to marinate in those juices for a while?
Those juices don't taste good to me. Let's get on to something else. I mean, I don't know. To me, there's a lot to unpack there, but the biggest news is, or to me, the biggest takeaway is, why the fuck wouldn't you hire a woman to direct that? Like, that is an absolute fucking no-brainer. Never mind. Then you don't even have the conversation of, do you really want this person directing your work? Like,
right.
Think about, whatever the fuck. It seems like the obvious answer is right there. And instead, somebody's like, nah, let's do it the old ways. And I don't know if you're going to last that long anymore in this or any other business looking to do it the old ways. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Did you ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender?
No, not like you did. You watched every episode and stuff?
I've watched every episode more than once.
You've seen it a couple times.
It is, if I was 9 years old today, it would be the Titanic work of fantasy in my life.
What, compared to something from our childhood, like it's the blank of our...
If it's the Harry Potter.
I was a man when that happened.
All right, fuck it. I don't want to do this, but it's the Lord of the Rings of our childhood.
Well, now I'm out.
That's your problem.
Right,
sir.
my bad, sorry. So it's fucking like...
It's great. It's this vast world that's all about... What?
Is it the Star Blazers? Astro Boy, that was more episodic, right? It wasn't one long adventure.
All right, it's the...
Star Blazers was the night. Right. We're off to outer space. We're leaving Mother Earth to save the human race. Our Star Blazers. I don't remember the rest.
I mean, that's enough, though.
Thank you. But it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than... It's...
Because all I remember about Star Blazers was the theme song, to be honest with you. But you seem to remember everything about Airbender. Do you like it as a storyteller or as just a person who appreciates fucking cartoons?
As a storyteller. Okay. Like it's for real drama. And it does amazing character work. It's one of the best rehabilitations of a villain I've seen in a long time.
Within the story?
Within the story. Like they give you this one character named Prince Zuko who begins as like, I'm the fucking evil son of a Fire Lord and all I want to do is kidnap the Avatar and blah, 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 bullshit. And over the course of 3 seasons, you're watching this guy struggle with his fate, with his destiny, with the choice to be the man that he wants to be. It is a more complex version of what we should have done with Darth Vader, but never did.
It sounds Kylo Ren-ish, but then again, they went after Avatar.
Right.
So maybe Kylo Ren sounds a little, what's this guy's name?
Zuko.
Maybe sounds a little Danny Zuko.
A little bit. Little Danny Zuko. They're singing and dancing.
Go Grease Lightning. Only in the movie, folks. Danny Zuko does not sing Grease Lightning in the Grease play. Just a little bit of trivia for those of you who are like, I've always wanted to go see the Grease play. And then you see Kaneki stand up and sing Grease Lightning, and you're like, what the fuck happened? They changed it for the movie. Moving on from Grease.
Oh, I'm not sure I want to now. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Oh my God. You saved my Grease bit. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Which I was never that big a fan of Grease until you get to the Tell Me, and I'm still not a big fan of Grease. I hated it once you get to the Tell Me More, when it's like, oh no, this is about date rape.
You saw that in 1977?
No, I remember watching when they did it on Fox, NBC, whichever one did the fucking live version of it.
Right.
I was like, wait a second. Why do like young girls like this fucking musical? It's the worst fucking story if you're a girl.
Yeah.
A, date rape. B, here's the lesson. You should maybe be what the boy wants you to be instead of being who you really are in order to get him for a summer. Because that motherfucker's going someplace else. And it's a triumph when she fucking shows up in the black leather, even though she's not that girl. But I'm doing it for this guy who's patently an asshole.
It's true. It's true. And he's like, look, I put on a school sweater for you. And she's like, tell me about it, stud. And he's like, fuck this sweater. And then he looks exactly like he's looked the whole movie. So he didn't give up anything.
Nope. Not even close.
Yeah, you're absolutely fucking right. I just want to point out for the record, if you're playing Fatman Beyond Bingo at home, Mark has used the word rape 3 times this evening.
Which is a soupçon of a amuse-bouche after the colored people rant I did in the beginning.
That's true. You're hitting all the taboos. All right.
Where else can we hit? Anyway, Netflix is making a live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender show.
All right. Now, as a fan...
Yes.
Well, all right. Well, hold that thought.
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan did something like that in movie form, but everyone agreed that it was not...
Yes, the worst thing in the world.
Okay. Not the worst thing in the world, but
no.
Close.
Rape and racism. The worst things in the world.
Okay, so
the triggeriest episode.
It really is. Holy shit. So, so in your mind, can this be done?
It can be, especially because they got the 2 creators of the cartoon to come back.
Oh, that's smart.
And executive produce and run and write this new show.
If they're smart, they're just like, here's the old scripts.
Just do this with money.
Yeah.
But yes, and they're committed to. And one of the cardinal offenses of M. Night Shyamalan's movie, aside from it being shitty, was that it sort of whitewashed all of the characters away from being Asian, because the story is set in, yes, it's fictional, but it's in a fictional Asian world. in which all of these characters are sort of adhering to this sort of kind of Asian mysticism set in, like it's a fantasy place, but all these characters are brown people. And M. Night Shyamalan, a brown dude, was like, you know what I really want? White people. Except for the bad guy who will make Asian. And it's like, oh man, really?
Was it the same bad guy character?
Yes,
What's his name?
This is Prince Zuko.
Zuko?
Played by Dev Patel.
Dev Patel. How was he?
Not good. It would be great if like that was the one dude who like figured out how to make it happen.
No.
He wasn't the Sterling K. Brown of...
Wow. That's true. High honors for that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so you feel like they can...
I feel like there's absolutely a world in which Netflix is making everything and spending all the money on all the shit, that if they spent the money on this, then...
Sometimes the programming comes out of Netflix, and I mean, you know, fucking they're doing great work over there, the Lord's work even. But there are so many fucking programs, and there's such weird, like, really? Like, that you just imagine Netflix, like, current day Netflix is run by a bunch of people in a boardroom in the 80s who are like, what about we did a live last Airbender? Like not the fucking cartoon, but everybody's real, like they are in a show and they're real and they're bending air and shit like that. And Danny Zuko's there. Let's fucking do this shit.
Hey, you know what my favorite game is? Marco Polo. We should do a show called Marco Polo, but it's not about the fucking game, it's about actual fucking Marco Polo. Marco Polo, Marco money, do it. Fucking greenlit, go, go, go.
You know what we need? Fucking 12 more episodes of Iron Fist.
Nah, man, we'll just do fucking 10. 10 will be fucking great. You know, you get Daughters of the fucking Dragon, and we'll fucking love Daughters of the fucking Dragon.
Quit harshing my buzz, man.
You can snort those 2 fucking episodes up your fucking nose. We're only doing fucking 10 of these, bitch.
Good for them, man. They are making some of the ballsiest end scene. They're making some of the ballsiest decisions over there. Thank you. Netflix theater is at an end.
Brought to you by cocaine and Ford motor cars.
And a practically irresponsible use of hundreds of millions of dollars. I applaud them, man. They're making entertainment like they know something we don't. Like as if somebody took them into like the fucking Oval Office and said the world is ending in 10 years, and they're like, let's just make everything.
Except whatever Kev and Marc pitch us.
Yeah, truly. Fuck, not everything. Wow. All right. So,
yes, I'm
but if you
100%
recommend a first timer should do the animated version,
I would. It's lovely, and especially if you've got somebody under the age of 18, or 40, or 60 in your house.
Yes.
I think they would love it to death.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough. But it's coming, and we can't stop it. And you don't seem.
I would.
You're nonplussed by it.
I'm embracing it.
Are you?
Although I will also say that I was once on the record saying, "Hey, you know what? I welcome 3 Hobbit movies. I loved fucking 3 Lord of the Rings movies. That guy makes good pizza. You're telling me he wants to make more pizza, and he's giving me another slice of fucking pizza? I'm gonna take that fucking slice of pizza." And I didn't want any slices of those pizza.
No. Second time around, he was like, "Here's vegan pizza."
Like, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Are we done with that story?
We are done with that story.
Let's move on to another story.
All right. Marvel Comics.
Oh, love them.
Yes. They are doing a Kilmonger miniseries.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because, duh.
Well, because they made that, the storytellers, Ryan Coogler and co, made, and especially Michael B. Jordan, made that character so fucking compelling. Like, you know, the character comes from comics, but fuck, they made a version of Killmonger where you're like, I'd watch more of that. And you know, spoilers, he's dead. Although, could he come back after Infinity War?
I don't know.
Superman! Yeah, that's when the fucking Superman comes to Marvel and spins the world backwards, and the Earth spins off his axis into the fucking sun, and we all die.
Okay.
That's my Marvel DC crossover.
Everybody dies. Issue 1.
All right, so Killmonger the comic.
Killmonger the comic. They're also doing a Shuri comic.
Right on.
Yeah, because
I mean, why not? Like,
why
we got
the
a
fuck
bunch
not?
of people out there who are now well versed in the Black Panther universe. Like, give them characters.
And they're
standalone books.
Yeah, they're doing another Black Panther cartoon, which is
another.
Reggie Hudlin did one. To 2011, I think, that was on BET that nobody fucking watched.
Did you ever see it?
I watched an episode of it, I think.
And?
It's okay. It was ripe for another one.
Right. Especially right now, absolutely.
Totally. And I'm not sure why I don't know more about it, because I should know everything about a Black Panther TV show, but Marvel seems kind of quiet about telling people that they have a Black Panther TV show.
It's not out yet, though.
No, but like next week.
It's about to break?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it a Disney XD show?
I believe
is it.
Is,
it's a Disney XD? They do one of the Spider-Man cartoons as well. That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that? But yes, Kilmonger is coming, written by Bryan Edward Hill, who's done some pretty interesting work on a book called Postal for Top Cow, and he's just gotten into the Bat family. He wrote a run on Detective.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, sharp guy.
Right on, man. Kilmonger. There it is. Run to the comic book stores. Look, if you like these movies and TV shows, you always got to remember they came from somewhere. So
totally
honor the source material.
We all want more fucking Kilmonger.
Yes. Buy a comic.
So Mark Ruffalo did some press and talked a little bit about how fucked up the process is for making Avengers 4.
Do tell.
I will.
Spill the tea, Mark.
Let's see, blah, 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 blah. We're doing reshoots starting in September, says Ruffalo.
Wait, this September?
Yes, like now.
Reshoots.
So
they're changing things. It's not just, these aren't pickups. This isn't like, they wrapped that movie.
Yes.
But now they're like, hey, man, we're going to make the story different or better. Why do you think? Like,
at least according to Ruffalo, they hadn't made final decisions yet on a bunch of shit in the movie.
I hope they're not second guessing themselves. Like, that fucking last picture was wonderful. I've rewatched it again since the last time we recorded, man. Fucking, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's let's see, it's still a work in
Maybe they're
progress.
like, you know how we got to that first one? Lots of reshoots.
Yeah,
like, maybe that's the way to do it.
It's iteration for them.
Yeah.
They're just figuring shit out. We're doing reshoots starting in September, then we'll go back into the international tour. Then you guys will get the second installment, which we don't even know what it's going to be yet. We're not just doing reshoots. We're going to finish the movie, which we really didn't get to finish totally when we left it last year.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah. Ruffalo indicated directors Anthony and Joe Russo are still figuring things out. I don't even know that they really know exactly, Ruffalo said. I'm sure they're not happy he said this. Some of it is happening while we're there. It's pretty amazing, and we'll shoot some stuff and a few days later come back and reshoot it because we want to take it in another direction. It's a very living organism, even as we approach it being a locked picture. We're still working on it. We're getting dummy scripts. That really blew my mind because I was like, you have to really go out of your way to give everybody a script that isn't quite what's going to happen. Some of us, I think, didn't even know what we were watching until we were actually watching it finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard, what's her name? Is it Carrie
Coon?
Coon, the one who plays the...
Not racist, that's her name.
Is that really that's her name?
I just wanted to clarify.
You got to remove that chip if you put it on Fatman Beyond Bingo this evening. So somebody said that they saw her in an interview or something like that, and she said that in the room, like on the green screen, they were like, "Look there and stab something," and she was like, "What am I looking at or stabbing?" They're like, "We don't know," So like it sounds like since a lot of it is done in post, most of the magic is created in post, and in that character performance, that's more motion capture than anything else. And they're moving at a clip, it sounds like they are figuring out some things along the way. But fuck, if Infinity War is an example of people figuring out shit as they go along, that's far better than my best prepared has ever been. So if they're still figuring it out now, I fucking trust them. I trust those guys implicitly, man, with my life even, just because they've made a couple good fucking movies. But those movies are real fucking good.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're making it. It's out next fucking May. But they just seem to be tweaking.
How many months they got? September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 8 months until we see that picture. So about 7 months until they have to be completely locked. I can lock up until the last day. So it's between 7 and 8 months.
Yeah.
All right. If they feel the need to reshoot, or if it's based on the fact that they're like, well, we didn't quite finish the movie, They know what they're doing. So far, they have not dropped the ball. And also, it must be like a tall order to follow Infinity War and the reaction to it. Like, it really captured people's imagination, the fucking snap, and like, what happened to all those characters, and blah, blah, blah. It's a real haunting movie for a blockbuster, a summer blockbuster. So I guess maybe like, you know, maybe there's a part of them somewhere on the team where they're like, how do we, maybe what we had prepared ain't good enough for the ending. Like, we should dial it up a notch or something like that. I don't know, man. I'm the guy that's like, that's good enough, moving on. Like, we would have been done with the Avengers movie in my world like 2 years ago and shit. So, but I trust they know what they're doing because the end results so far have been stellar.
I have faith.
Me too. All right, what else we got?
That's all we got.
That's all the news that's fit to print?
That's all the news that's fit to print, my
Fuck
brother.
the news. We finished something, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. The news is done. Done! And now, everybody's favorite part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you guys get to be involved, man, and ask questions. This is the Q&A portion of the show. And as we do here on Fatman Beyond, we got friends in high places. Brett Deacon is our friend who works over at 4DX. The 4DX people build a cinema experience where you go see a movie that fucking you interact with by sitting in this magic fucking chair. If it's snowing in the movie, god damn it snows in the fucking theater around you and shit. You smell what they smell in the movie. Your seat moves like the cars move in the movie. If there's a fucking car chase, your chair's moving all over. You may even vomit. It's that fucking real. 4DX experience is the next level of fucking attending a movie, man. You can go see it. If you've never been to one, they have them in the big cities, not everywhere yet, but they're expanding very fast. They got them in Los Angeles, here in Los Angeles at LA Live. They got them in Chicago. They got them in New York and stuff. What we do is, thanks to our generous friend Deacon, we got 5 sets of 2 tickets to give out to people that ask good questions, man. And you can take these tickets and go to LA Live and see. I would recommend seeing a big fucking blockbuster. What's coming next? Yes, Venom, bitch. You could go see Venom with this shit. I did the, they're putting together the Blu-ray or the DVD. When you make a movie, you put together the fucking DVD and Blu-ray before the movie even comes out. So they're putting the Venom Blu-ray to bed now, even though the movie's not out. They have to put together all the special features. So I had done special features for the Spider-Man DVD. They brought me back for the Venom DVD. So I just did that the other day and whatnot. The good news, though, is that in order to do that, they have to tell you some shit about the movie. And I learned some shit about the movie, made me very fucking excited. Really? I was like, that's in there? Take my fucking money and shit. So not only is it like the Hardy performance is like, that's what I signed on for, but they've got shit in the movie where I was like, oh, fuck, all right, you got me, you fucking got me. I was always in, though. So, yeah, anyway, that's a sidebar.
I was not always in, but you're selling me.
They showed me nothing, but based on what they told me, I was like, that's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. They do something in the third act that everybody's going to be like, whoa! Like, it's a real fuck you moment to the world. Like, and not fuck you in a bad way, just like, fuck you, I dare you not to talk about this on the internet. And it's going to be a big conversation.
Do they just drive into like the theater showing Hamilton and watch Hamilton for like half an hour? And that's the third act of Venom is fucking Hamilton?
Could you imagine, man? Where people are like, are you serious? You're like, yeah. Like they felt like they had 2 really strong first acts. And then they felt like the third act was shit, so they just all go see Hamilton. Which is really good. No, it looks like it's going to be actually pretty damn dope and stuff. Okay, so yes, you can go see Venom when it comes out. When is that? Does anybody know?
October.
Oh my God, it's coming very, very soon.
It's like next week.
All right. No, not next week.
I know close. Time is a construct.
Save these tickets if you win. Construct. And you could go see Venom in a 4DX theater. I fucking fully recommend it. Okay. In order to win these tickets, and JC, the proprietor of this here bar, he's the one that's going to pick the people and bring you up front and stuff like that. He's going to select our cuers, and we're going to be the Ayers. All we ask in order to qualify for these tickets is the question has to apply to us both. So no questions for me like what's it like being Jason Mewes' friend, and no questions for Marc about like what's it like having a grandfather who won't stop using the word colored or something like that. So, something we can both
We
respond
can talk about that later.
yeah, afterwards.
It's not now.
Hit the bar. He'll share a drink with you and talk about it. What's your name, young camper?
My name is James.
James. Everyone give it up for James. What can we do you for, James?
I'm actually from your neck of the woods, Staten Island, so just across the bay from Jersey.
Get the fuck out of here,
Staten
really.
Island.
Right on, Staten Island, man.
Yeah. There's actually more news that Mark. This actually just broke a few hours ago, so you might not have heard it. But
Fine,
Disney,
show how bad I am at my job, James.
Sorry, Disney actually announced. Well, there's reports that Disney is adding to their streaming service a Loki show and a Scarlet Witch show.
Onto their streaming service?
Yes.
They've got, Disney has an app that's coming soon. It's not out yet, but in some reports refer to it as Disney Play, but I don't know if that's real or not. But whatever, it's a streaming app, and that's the one that's like Jon Favreau's doing a Star Wars show on. And so they announced a Loki show?
Yes.
And
Scarlet Witch.
A Scarlet Witch show.
Yes.
Animated or live action?
Live action. They actually putting Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen in it.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. I guess they got a little jealous of DC with their
Wait,
app.
fuck. What?
Yeah.
That's
true.
real? They're making
Yes.
a show with those people
Yes.
playing those characters?
Yes. Well, both their characters, Infinity Wars, didn't make it. So I guess they have some free time.
Oh, from Infinity War?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, we all know they
We
live.
know they're going to come back.
Let's stop kidding. Like,
but-
where it's all we agree there's a
but-
Santa Claus and shit.
but
All
they-
those heroes are coming back. But more importantly,
Yes.
they fucking somehow convinced Tom and Elizabeth to be on a fucking
And
TV show?
they're saying Kevin Feige is backing it too.
He's like producing it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I
they
so
they are
want-
going to kill Netflix, dude. Like, that's what it's basically, the whole world's going to come down to Netflix and that fucking Disney Channel. Because not only do they have all the Disney that you want to see, like fucking, hey, it's Moana 1,000 times and whatnot, and fucking Bedknobs and Broomsticks. But they're going to do shit like that,
Yes.
where it's like, if you want to see fucking Elizabeth Olsen playing the fucking Scarlet Witch on an ongoing series, give us your fucking money for that
Yeah.
app that is so
They-
smart.
They said they want to focus on secondary Avenger characters that don't have their standalone movies.
Read the article.
Hold on, I'm gonna read
It's from Variety. Oh my God, there's a picture of Tom and fucking Elizabeth.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Blah, blah,
Breaking
blah, blah,
news.
blah.
Who is from
Breaking
Variety?
news From Variety. The entertainment giant is in early development on an ambitious plan for a number of limited series. Okay.
You're not selling it. Give me that.
I'm fucking reading it.
You got to put excitement into it. Disney is enlisting Earth's mightiest heroes as the company prepares to launch its upcoming streaming
See,
service.
that's why they don't pay either of us.
The entertainment giant is in early development on an ambitious plan for a number of limited series centered on popular characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh my God, you don't know how many dicks I'd suck for that program to make this fucking happen. These series will likely include shows centered on Loki and the Scarlet Witch, along with other beloved superheroes who have yet to appear in their own standalone movies. This is so fucking smart. Marvel and Disney had no comment, but that's not a denial.
No.
Wow. There's an important distinction from all other Marvel small screen efforts, however. The actors who portrayed these heroes and villains in the Avengers films and their spin-offs, such as Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen, are expected to play them in the streaming shows. What a wonderful world we live in. I know everyone's mad about how things are going politically, but this makes it all better. Just give me bread and circuses. Oh my God, this is such a smart idea. Marvel Studios will produce the shows, and Kevin Feige, the guru of all things MCU, is expected to take a hands-on role in their development. The pricey gamble with one of the crown jewels of the Disney film empire is a sign of how much the company has riding on its direct-to-consumer platform. And then they go into that. That is not a pricey gamble. Like, that
Not
would
really.
if that would make me sign up if I wasn't already like, oh, I'm already signed up. I want that shit. But like that's crazy. We live in a world where they're like, we're gonna make shows about those characters that you fucking love, that you pay cash money to go see at a theater and stuff. And it's gonna probably tie together. Like, it's gonna be like, you know, like It's almost as if they're like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as if it was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or any of the Netflix shows or something like that. Oh my God, that's so fucking smart.
I really hope the Loki show is a sitcom where he adopts 2 black kids who have to like keep him from getting in trouble because he's the god of mischief. So it's just a bunch of like, Loki.
I have a pitch.
Okay.
Different Lokes.
Pay that man his money.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
What might be right for you
may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of
means.
Is that what it is?
Yes. Then along comes 2.
They got nothing but the jeans. They're because they're
it?
wearing jeans.
Okay.
I think. Are we just figuring this out together? 30 years later?
It's like it's all about
So
their
wait,
pants?
a man is born, they're singing about Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
And he's a man of
means.
And then along comes 2. They got nothing but the jeans. Somebody look it up, see if that's right. That could be me making it up.
They got different strokes. It takes different strokes. We got different strokes to rule the world.
I don't think it's to rule the world, is it?
Yeah.
It takes different strokes to move the world, I thought.
Move the world. What kind of hippy-dippy bullshit is that?
I don't know.
Domination.
What kind of capitalist bullshit is yours, man? We're
He's
like,
a
it
man
takes
of
different
means.
strokes to rule these fucking people.
It's the Iron Throne, but it's a comfy
It's very
Barca
Game of
lounge.
Thrones. All right, wait a second. How'd we get onto that?
It's my fault. I pitched a sitcom, and you said different Lokes.
Different Lokes.
And then we started singing.
Oh, and then, but fucking what a great gift you just gave us,
Yes,
man. Do you have a question, too?
Well, my question is...
Because you deserve, number one, you're getting tickets just for telling us about that.
Thanks.
Show took a huge fucking jump.
Thank you. But my question is, based on that news, what other stuff would you like them to do on that app? If they're going to do Loki and...
I mean, what a great question. So you also went and took us for that. But like now the sky's the limit. Like if you'd asked me this before I'd read that story, and even if you said, do you think they'll ever make it, or in your accent, do you ever think they make a Loki show? I would be like, what are you out of your fucking mind? And I would berate you for 10 minutes about how industry stupid you were. And then you could have just showed me your phone and I would have been like, sir, I bend my knee to you. I would never have bet that. So now that that's a reality, who do I want to see from the Marvel Universe get their own standalone? I mean, I'm tempted to say Thanos, but that's what Infinity War was, the Thanos standalone movie. Fuck. No. It's got to be from the. It's not like which character you want to see. It's got to be like the template here is they'll take one of the characters from your favorite movies and make some shows about them. So, who? Oh, dude. Oh, yes. Corgan. What was his name? Meek. Corgan Meek. I'd watch that. Especially because that guy's like legit entertainment. Taika. How do you say it? Taika. Like, you watch him in the behind the scenes and shit, and that's him playing that character. And, you know, he ain't going to cost a lot of money. Like, you know, Elizabeth Olsen and Tom Hiddleston, they're going to fucking, their agents are going to be like, you better pay through the nose. And Disney's like, we can, because our nose is as big as a mouse's. We're Disney. And so they'll pay for it. But him, you know, they'll be like, we'll give you $2. And like, you know, because he's not a known actor and shit, but he will be if they make that fucking show.
All right,
But
man.
that's not one I'd
make you a
pick.
show. What do you want?
Who? Nova Corps, man, that's right, because they killed them all off in Infinity War with one line where he's just like, they're all dead now, you know, which really, it negates Guardians of the Galaxy. Their entire adventure is just gone because of that. So yeah, I would see Nova Corps, man. I would have spent more time in that world. Hulk, of course, definitely. Falcon, maybe. We see enough of him, I feel like. Not like too much, but like, I don't feel like we're missing out.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, come on.
So, someone actually posted a meme of Hawkeye saying,
Yeah, didn't they take like, remember in the middle of Age of Ultron, they showed us a whole episode of the Hawkeye show and nobody wanted to watch it. We all tried to change the channel, but it was a movie, so we had to sit through it.
It's like Home Improvement, but with Hawkeye. It's like, I don't need that.
Yeah, the Hawkeye show I'd be interested in is like open an episode, he gets killed, and we spend the rest of the episodes everyone going like, he was a pretty good guy. And then they go on some adventure and shit like that.
I mean, pointless when you're fighting a mad titan, but okay, sure.
Yes.
I actually have one. If they can't get it into the movie, maybe Gambit would be a good TV show.
Who?
Gambit.
But again, this is like just, you're talking about taking Marvel characters.
Yeah,
But this
I'm saying
template.
if they would go into the app, if they want to go big budget.
I don't think they're going to do that. I don't like this is smart because they're like, we know these characters are proven, so we'll spend $50 million making a Loki fucking show because we know you like Loki. You wouldn't take that risk with like, well, we hope you like Gambit. You know what I'm saying? Even though they own those characters now.
I got
this is
one.
a smart play. Who do you got?
Winter Soldier.
You could totally fucking go. I personally, that wouldn't be my cup of tea. I'd watch it, of course, but like that would never be the first character. But you're absolutely right. All those missions, and you could jump him around the Marvel universe and jumping around history and shit like that.
All the awful shit that he's done over the years, and has been fighting against his programming, and he seems to need to be recalibrated after every mission, and so. What's the one where he almost got the furthest away, and then they fucking pull him back in? And the tragedy of
What's the
Bucky.
one where he fell in love?
Yeah.
Like his entire lost world.
And then
stuff
it's
like
wiped
that.
away by fucking...
T'Chaka. Kilmonger.
Who?
T'Chaka.
Yes, the first Black Panther, King T'Chaka. That'd be. I mean, look, anything Black Panther, but that would be smart, right? Because you can go like number one, it ain't gonna be as expensive. We saw the suit. And it looked cool enough, it'll totally work, and everybody understands, like, yeah, this was back in the 90s or whatever. That's a good idea. King T'Chaka. Who? Yondu. And it allows you to bring Rooker back and bring Yondu back to life because you're telling old stories and shit. The Sylvester Stallone Guardians that we saw.
Yondu and the Ravagers? Like a fucking punk band?
Yes. All right, fucking that's great. I haven't put one up, but I mean, I like all of these. I'm trying to think. Like, you haven't lost me with a single one. Let me think. Who have I liked?
Aunt May.
Ant-Man.
Aunt May.
Aunt May. She counts, man. She's in the cinematic universe. Do I want to watch? I mean, I like Marissa Tomei a lot, but I don't know if I want to watch an Ant-Man. You know what, though? In the right hands and shit, they're like... You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, man, we're taking Aunt May and we're Sex and the Citying this shit. I'm on board. In the right hands, I'm totally on board. But who would I like to see?
Turns out I'm glad Uncle Ben is dead because I'm going to fuck my way around Queens. Hey, Bodega Man.
That's true.
Hey.
They could call it the Queen of Queens and shit. Let me see. Who have I liked? You know, all right. Here's a who? Warriors 3 from Thor. They are cool characters, but they're also at the back of my list.
Shit. Valkyrie.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, but to be fair, I say give her own movie.
That's true.
Here's a deep bench pitch.
Okay.
But I loved his fucking performance. And he was a one and done, unless you count some of the video short afterwards. Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2. The great Oscar-winning Sam Rockwell. Oh. I'd watch a few episodes of that as well. That'd be my contribution. They'd say no, but that would be the one I would suggest. You won the tickets. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Take those. Oh my God, that made me so fucking happy. Like, my heart is flying. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna put amazing things on that fucking app. That's nuts.
Hey guys, how you doing?
How are you, man? What's your name?
Awesome, man. I'm Dean.
What is
Dane?
it?
Dean.
Dane, everyone give it up for Dane.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Flash shirts.
No, it's weird. Hey, I
Very
saw you
cool.
walk in and went, oh shit. But it's
Fight.
back. It's all good. So we only smell stale popcorn and other people's farts in cinemas in Australia. So
Is that what that accent is? I was sitting there trying to dial in and shit.
Yeah, Sydney. Yeah, you
Sydney.
were just
I've been
down,
there a
yeah.
few times. Beautiful city.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. People are weird, but you know how it is. So I got a question for you guys, just regarding the shake-up of the DC universe, just regarding the recasting of your boy Affleck and Henry Cavill, and I'm just wondering who you guys would choose as the younger versions that they're planning to recast?
Great, easy question. Number one, you're going to win tickets for that. Let me see. Younger, you say keying in on younger for sure?
That's what they're saying, yeah.
And let's take the players who are kind of in the game off the board, right? Like, we've all heard that John Hamm is like, hey, I'll play Batman. And fucking like, whose dick do I got to suck to make that fucking happen? I want to see that. But we'll remove him from the equation because you're saying younger.
Right.
Who do I pick to play Batman? Who do I pick to replace? Who do I pick to play Batman? Who do I pick to play Superman? Superman and Batman. Batman and Superman. Superman and Batman.
Clark and Bruce. Bruce and Clark.
Clark Kent and Wayne. Billionaire and mild-mannered reporter.
Sons of Martha.
You know what? Fuck you, man. I had just finally forgotten that shit. Now you're bringing it all back up. All right, let's see. Here, who do I like? Who do I like? Let's start there.
You know who I love for Superman?
Who?
There's this kid. I don't know if you've seen him before. Henry Cavill. I really think he's fucking got something.
Pretty good. He's pretty strong.
Yeah. No,
I'll be honest with you. When they said Michael B. Jordan the other day, I was like, yes, do it. When I was a kid, and it's not even a new like fucking progressive idea. When I was working on Superman in 1996, Will Smith was floated as Superman. And I was like, oh my God, fucking do it. And to be fair, that came from John Peters. John Peters was like, Will Smith should play this role. And I was like, you're fucking right.
Be a beast.
Will Smith is Jor-El. If Michael B. Jordan plays fucking Superman, can I come see your movie, sir?
That motherfucker's got his own studio over there in the corner.
Oh my God, what a great idea. So I'll borrow and say Michael B. Jordan is Superman because that's a great idea. Who do I want to see as Batman? Young Batman. Who do I like? I love Ryan Gosling, so I'd watch him in anything. But I don't know if I'd rather see him be Bruce Wayne / Batman or like the Joker. Like, you know, he's a real good actor. He might take that role and fucking run with it and do something else. I don't know if you want to take the world's greatest actor and put them into that role where half the time it's a stunt man anyway.
Sure.
So you just have to find somebody, doesn't have to be the world's greatest, but it has to be somebody charismatic, somebody who can carry the costume and cape and stuff, and younger.
I got a Superman. I don't know if he'd do it.
Who?
Chris Pine. I mean, he's in the DC universe already.
You're
but he's
not
dead.
making his hair black, are you? Just leaving it blonde?
No, just leave him who he is.
Blonde Superman?
You know, dirty blonde Superman.
You'll catch a lot of shit on the internet for that.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, not as much as Michael B. Jordan is Superman. Because I've caught that shit from the internet already.
Could you imagine Michael B. Jordan's like, man, I lived through this shit with Fantastic Four. You want me to go through this again? But sure. Look, I love Chris Pine, so I'll watch him do anything.
I think he's charming.
Yeah, very charming.
And I think that sort of charm helps.
Carry that.
Yeah. Don't know if he's big enough, but
you got to be warm as shit, right?
yeah.
Like Chris Pratt seems like an ideal Superman, kind of in terms of like personality. He seems like a big, cuddly kid, likes everybody and stuff like that.
I mean, damn it, can we have Chris Evans?
Krasinski is a great fucking pull, man. Krasinski has like a Chris Reeve thing going on. Excellent fucking job. Krasinski is a really good fucking pull. And you let him direct that shit as well, but you make him put dialogue in it this time.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Krasinski's a good, so you buy him a Superman?
Yeah, I'll buy him. He's got a doughy face.
True.
Like-
but this motherfucker's from Krypton. Nobody said he can't be doughy and shit. Like, it's Earth's yellow sun that gives him his power. In fact, you know, as a guy who's been a man of girth most of his life, I would like to see a fat Superman.
I'm not even saying he's fat, because he's cut as fuck.
He
it's
is
just,
cut.
There's something about his-
somewhere John Krasinski is like, fat? Fuck you. He said doughy-faced.
Did you see me? But yeah, there's something about his face that's a little like lumpy and delicious.
And not super enough?
And not like chiseled and fucking heroic, but I could be argued otherwise.
Was Chris Reeve chiseled looking in the face?
Yeah, he had a good chin. He had a great fucking... Yes,
the
bitch.
committee that fucked Chris Reeve over there, they're like, yeah, he was dreamy. Yeah, I guess you're right. He had a pretty strong chin. All right, so Batman. Who do I want as a young Batman? Who do I watch? Who do I like? What programs do I watch? I'm like, ooh, that motherfucker's good. I don't know if you'll ever get another Affleck near that role, man.
Hey, Edgerton.
Who?
Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton, man.
Interesting.
Joel Edgerton. Is that the kid who was in the Kingsman's movies?
Yeah.
No, that's Taron Egerton.
Then who is this?
No, the King's.
Oh, Joel Edgerton,
Joel,
who directed
yeah.
The Gift or whatever.
Who's in
Yeah.
Warrior with Tom Hardy, which is great.
Yes. I love that movie, man.
That
Yeah.
movie's amazing.
Everyone puts shit on it.
Yeah, and he's always like a really good actor.
Yeah, he was in Loving with, what's her face? Ruth Negga.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going like good actor, there's a good choice. Because again, you put a mask on that guy half the time. You take Joel Edgerton and go like this, and
Yeah.
you know, and he's got a cool black outfit on. Maybe you sell it.
He'd be better as a villain, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely lean into him playing more of a villainous role.
Sure.
Fuck.
Milo Ventimiglia.
Oh, the boy from This Is Us and Heroes back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Fairly interesting.
I think you're on the right path, though, Michael B. Jordan.
I think you've derailed me completely because I'm really trying to do this, and it's not like anyone's paying me. But I'm like, no, we can't do anything until we cast future Batman. I know they keep saying like Jake Gyllenhaal. I've always liked him.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm just like, oh, he's got dark hair like Bruce Wayne. Like, here, man. Like, here. All right. This ain't like, you know, nobody's going to be like, oh, my God. Like, you discovered him and shit. But you know who'd make an awesome fucking Bruce Wayne and Batman? Chris Hemsworth.
Hey, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude,
he
he's in
fucking
the-
made Thor work.
He's in the new Men in Black, too.
Yes, he is
Because
in the
we
new
come
Men in
from
Black.
seeing him in, there's a soap called Home and Away, back home. And it's real, like, Bold and the Beautiful-esque.
Is that where he came from?
Yeah. So we're like, Hemsworth is Thor? What? Because his brother Liam went for Thor as well. So there were two going against
They were
each
both
other.
competing. Both
Yeah.
Hemsworth were up
Yeah.
for Thor or tried to be Thor.
He is Thor, man. You just look at him and go, oh, yeah.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
And also like just took a character where in the comics I was never a Thor guy, and he made me fucking fall in love with that character. And and it was not right away. It wasn't like, oh shit. I think it's Avengers where I started to go like, this guy's fucking funny. Once they stopped making him be old Thor, which some people online are like, but I like old Thor, and I fucking get it. But like I like this version where he's self-aware and he can play into his fucking charm and be
Totally.
funny, not just like, oh, Odin's son sweareth and shit like that.
Yeah.
Let me. Can I tweak this question a little
Yes.
bit? If you could cast anybody independent of time, pretend you had a fucking time machine, a casting time machine.
Yes.
You can cast anybody throughout Hollywood history ever. Not John Hamm, because we know that. Who would you cast for those two guys?
If I get to cast Batman across time,
Yes.
Robert Shaw playing a young Robert Shaw from A Man for All Seasons, the one who played a young Henry VIII as Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
Robert Shaw is the guy who played Quint in Jaws. So imagine a younger version of him as a driven fucking Bruce Wayne. I would cast him. That was one of my favorite performances of all time, him in Jaws. But his entire career was really worth watching. Think about the intensity of his performance in Black Friday. Remember that movie? As Batman. Black Sunday, sorry. Black Friday, I was thinking about shopping. Black Sunday, yeah. Like, that's a guy who could totally fucking be a really gripping Batman. I mean, there's obvious choices like, hey, what about Robert De Niro as fucking Bruce Wayne and shit? Because Taxi Driver is a version of Batman to some degree, right?
True.
But across time as Superman? Cary Grant. That is a very romantic choice, but no.
But you're wrong.
But very sweet. Let's see, man.
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant. Just make a statement, man. You're like, look at him, ain't he super? Shit.
I'm on the Brute Squad. You're all the Brute Squad.
Who? Yeah. God God, I got no imagination. Well, I don't know. Robert Shaw was a good pull.
That's not bad.
I wanted to, I mean, all right, here, man. This ain't going to be a popular call, but Tom Cruise circa A Few Good Men.
I'd get behind that.
I think he has
Like Superman?
he like Tom Cruise kind of carries the, you know, in Mission Impossible, it's always like against the government, shadow government and shit like
Yeah.
that. But he has the kind of like, you know, aw shucks and glint in his eye. He reminds me of Kurt Swan's Superman. The Kurt Swan Superman in comics would periodically at the end of a book or the end of an adventure literally look at the viewer as if he was looking down the barrel of the camera and wink. And so Tom Cruise could kind of pull that off.
Here's
Not
the
a popular
ability,
choice.
I think, to...
Also, we've seen him fly. He jumps on couches, and that's
True.
kind of the same thing.
Here's the ability to cast a spell on you. I think you always say, Tom Cruise, get out of here. Then when you see him in something, you're like, ah.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
that's
What
smart,
about
man.
you, casting through history?
Casting through history, I think I go Burt Reynolds for Superman.
Hey.
Mustache, no mustache.
Fucking mustache.
Yeah.
Mustache, so we finally get a Superman with a mustache? Somewhere
lean
Henry
into that
Cavill's like,
fucking
fuck
shit."
you. You had a Superman with a mustache. Ah, fuck it. All right, so Burt Reynolds is Superman.
and,
They tried to get him to do that once.
I know, yeah. And Clint Eastwood as Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
What year? Like, what era? Dirty Harry? Sudden Impact?
I think you go like the man with no name. Like, the man, the
Ooh. Good pull. Good
yeah.
pull.
Or maybe Charles Bronson. I think
Hey.
Bronson could also be a really good Bruce Wayne.
All right, and if we're casting against, now we're just playing like, you know who I want to see play Batman? I'm gonna say circa glory Denzel Washington.
Ooh.
Young fucking, like, you know, he's still a great actor, but when he was just fucking like a young man and stuff, being driven, Bruce Wayne.
That's good.
All right, yeah, we're done. We could do this all night.
Thanks, man.
You got a great
Thanks,
question.
guys.
Give it up for him.
Appreciate
You
it.
won tickets, man. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right, JC, take us someplace else. What's your name, young camper?
Hi guys, my name's Robert.
Robert. Everyone give it up for Robert.
Hi, Robert.
So
Set of tickets with your name on it, Robert, if you get this right.
okay. So I'm a big fan. I love the show. Been coming since the very first day.
Oh, right on. Thanks.
But I'm starting to make friends. I've been in LA for about 2 years, and I'm making friends who actually, believe it or not, aren't comic book fans, which is completely new for me.
Why? Where'd you
why?
come from?
I'm originally from Oregon, Eugene, Oregon.
And so that's a college town, not a big.
Yeah, it is.
Not a big comic book community there.
No, my friends were huge film buffs. We're big comic book fans, but when you move to a city where you know absolutely nobody, you kind of got to get out there and make some friends, which is why I love coming here so much.
Best place to make friends, to geek, drink, and be merry, right here at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. Give it up for JC. He built a
Yeah.
fine establishment. That's cool, man. I like to hear that. Yeah, it's a nice place to meet people and meet new people and shit like that, and bond over similar subject matter, the things that you
Absolutely,
like.
yeah. But
Eugene's beautiful. I've been there. I've done shows there and stuff,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where they shot Animal House.
oh yeah, absolutely.
When I was in town last time, I went to the place where Delta House used to be, and they've torn it down and replaced it with a business office. But there's this plaque on a stone that it memorializes the house that used to be there, and it has like paragraphs full of history going back to like the turn of the century, the 1700s, when the house was first built and who lived there and shit. And then there's one sentence at the end that says, they also shot a movie called Animal House here.
And we had to burn it down.
For college kids, that movie's pretty legendary, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
celebrate it. Actually, every year at graduation, we do the shout dance like at our
Oh,
graduation.
right.
So we have a lot of
on.
fun with it.
That's fucking cool.
But my question is, meeting people who don't know comics, I'm getting to kind of see people discover this for the first time, which is a bit new for me. So it has me wondering, all of us at some point had a moment where we kind of found our fandom and we discovered, wow, I'm not the only one who likes this. For me, it was with comics. And I'm a huge wrestling fan. So those are my two fandoms that I kind of
Right.
discovered.
And there are fans everywhere. For
Yeah,
wrestling
well, now
and
it's
comics.
the best time to be a fan because it's not quite as taboo as it is in years past. But my
Right.
question is, do you remember when you found your fandom or a group of friends where you realized, wow, I'm not the only one who likes this?
What a great question. You're going to win tickets. Give it up for him. That's awesome. Let me see. When I'll do my fandoms in order that I remember from childhood. From 0 to 4, it's Snoopy. Snoopy is the love of my life. And I love the Peanuts and stuff, but Snoopy, if I get my hands on Snoopy anything, that's it. But there was no, we're in the Snoopy fan club or anything like that, So I didn't get a sense that, I knew other people liked Snoopy. I knew I wasn't alone. They had fucking cartoons on once a year during the holidays and shit. But there was no, we all got together and talked about, why is that dog so shitty to that kid with cancer, the bald boy, That would come later in life. So fandom goes Snoopy, hands off to Batman. And I discovered Batman through Adam West's Batman on TV, of course, watching Batman 66, what we now call Batman 66, and also reading comic books at a place, Vinny the Barber's, where my dad would take me to get my hair cut. They had the TV in the waiting room and shit, and under the TV was newspapers and comic books for kids. And so that's where I started reading Batman. Aside from watching him on Super Friends and seeing him on TV as Adam West, then I started reading about his adventures, a completely different Batman than the previous two that I'd known, but it was all kind of in the same corridor. That began a lifelong fandom that results in this fucking show as well. That fandom handed off to the $6 Million Man. I was a huge fucking fan, had the doll and shit like that, or action figure, but he was a fucking tall doll. I love that world so much, I also had the Bionic Woman doll and stuff like that. But the only other fans I knew it had fans, people must watch it, because it was on TV and shit. But there was no internet to be who fucking loves the Bionic Woman, man? Jamie Summers like a motherfucker. And you just, my brother liked it, so that was good enough and shit. Then the next fandom was Star Wars. So I see Star Wars in 1977, and that was the first time that I knew other people liked something that I liked. And not just because, hey, it was on TV and we both happened to watch it or something like that. First time I heard about Star Wars was through somebody who was a fan in my class who had gone to see it and stuff. I wasn't an early adopter or anything. I saw it pretty late in its run. If it came out in May, I probably saw it by July after I convinced my parents, you have to fucking take me. Everyone has seen it but me. So fandom is what introduced me to it. And then when I went, the place was packed and I fucking loved the movie and shit. And then you can come out of the movie and talk to others about it. One of my best friendships in life, I talked about it on Smodcast again this week, the episode that just dropped. This kid I grew up across the street from, Pete King. He lived in Brooklyn in the city, but his family would come down the shore over the summers, so they stayed in this bungalow across the street from our house and stuff. And Pete King was a little bit younger than me, maybe 2 years, but he had every fucking Star Wars toy imaginable. So a mutual fandom created a friendship that lasted for years. Pete died years later and stuff. Tragically, he was struck by a taxi cab in Manhattan. But the friendship was born out of that. Most of my friendships in childhood were born out of mutual liking of things. And fandom, the first real oh fuck, there's a lot of us, occurred to me beyond just all the people in my school or my class that know this movie, or all the people that you would see on news reports where they show you lines around the building for Star Wars or something. When I joined the Star Wars fan club in 1980, that was when I was fully cognizant of there's a network, there's a bunch of us. I know that I knew there were people that just go see movies, oh, that was a movie, good, and they go on with their fucking lives. And there's a difference between those people and me and the people in the Star Wars fan club. It didn't end when the credits rolled. We kept talking about it. And we talk about it to the point where our parents would be would you fucking shut up? We're in church, so it's got to be Star Wars. That's where I was cognizant of I'm part of a larger thing, and I share terminology with only people that fucking know it and stuff. And knowledge was power. If you met other Star Wars fans and you could name fucking characters that weren't the big three or something like that. It's got to be Star Wars for me. You?
Well, was there I'm sorry. There was a quote
Follow
you gave, not to get super nerdy, but there's a documentary, a really great one called Comic Book Superheroes Unmasked, where you talk about comic book shops and how they're kind of I don't know how they are anymore, but for the longest time it was almost built as kind of a cave where people could come in, and so adults or outsiders wouldn't come in and go, "What's this? This is silly." So was there a moment for comics or with comic book fans specifically?
I loved comics when I was a kid. I was a Marvel zombie more than a DC kid. I loved Batman, but I loved the Marvel comics more. Their characters were way more vibrant and fucking interesting to me and stuff. Batman I would get deeper into later in life in terms of like, the pathos of this character is what's really appealing and stuff. So I was a Marvel kid. And let me see. What was the comics? What was the moment that I realized like this was bigger? Say your question again, because I had an answer and it slipped.
Where did you find your comics fandom? Like, what pulled you to, like, oh, there's other fans who loves this?
Thank you. Beautifully done. When I was a kid, there was nothing like that. That's why I was able to let it go. I liked comics, but I couldn't stand up for them, like, as I entered high school. Because I was like, that's something kids do and shit like that. That seemed to be the common consensus at large. Like, comics, those are for fucking kids. There's one kid I knew in high school, two, you know what, two, because now I'm being unfair. I could have been a comics geek in high school, but I wasn't brave enough. James Byrne drew, he was an excellent artist, and he knew all the characters and can draw them and shit like that. So the old comic book fan in me, whenever I saw James drawing, I was like, holy shit, man, you're drawing Captain America. Holy shit, man, you're drawing the fucking Falcon. You're drawing the Human Torch and stuff. He kept up with comics. I'd let him go in high school because I wanted to get laid. He was, he embraced them still. And Eugene Simpson was another kid who was still into comics. So I could talk to those guys about shit that I used to love, but they never drew me back in. They were never like, you should go to the comic book store with us or anything like that. Walter Flanagan, the guy from Comic Book Man, one of my dearest friends in the world, he was the one that like introduced true fandom into my heart. When I got into comics again after high school, late 88, early 89, he was my comics guru. And I've told the story many times, but I'll tell it here and I'll try to make it quick. Walter didn't talk to me for the first 10 months that I worked with him at the Highlands Recreation Center. Me and Walter Flanagan, Bryan Johnson, Jason Mewes, we all met in the service of caring for children. Isn't that fucked up? We cared for kids at this after-school program at the Recreation Center and shit. So I worked with Walter for months. He never fucking spoke to me. And I one day asked the boss, I was like, how do you fucking talk to Walt? What do you talk to Walt about? He never talks to me. And my boss, Timmy Hill, he goes, he likes comics, comic books. And I was like, comics? I used to read comic books when I was a kid. All right, I'm going to talk to him about comics. So we were playing foosball, me and him, one day with two kids. We weren't even playing together. We were just had kids playing, and they were young, so each of us had goal. Like Walter was playing goal, I was playing goal. And the two kids were playing. But if you play fucking foosball with kids, it's a boring ass long game because they can't see over the table, number one. And all they want to do is spin the fucking dudes and shit like that. So it gives you a lot of time to talk. So I finally got up the courage to say to Walter Flanagan, I was like, hey man, I understand you like comic books. And he's like, yeah. And he just kept in the game. Like he was not fucking interested in anything I had to say. And I was like, well, I used to read comic books like all the time, man. But then I quit when I got to high school because I wanted to get laid. And that was the first time he looked at me in 10 months of working there. He fucking looked up and he goes, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like, well, it just means that like most people think that comics are for kids. And he goes, what fucking people say that? And I was like, well, fucking not me, I assure you, but I've heard it said by others. And he reached into his back pocket and he pulled out a rolled up trade paperback of The Dark Knight Returns and he handed it to me. And he goes, you take that home and you read that right now. And he goes, you come back tomorrow and you tell me if you think comic books are for kids. And I was so fucking stunned. Like, I didn't have a response, mostly because I was like, he had a whole book in his back pocket this whole time? And a trade paperback is pretty fucking large. It's not like a little paperback that fits back there. So he was pot committed. I was like, that's impressive. He just fucking roams this land like a gunslinger, ever ready, to be like fucking ignorance, knowledge, and fucking. So I read it at home and I went back in the next day and I was like, my God, this is fucking comic books now? Like, this is crazy. This shit's unbelievably fucking good. I want in. If this is comic books, I'm going to start buying comics again, man. Where do you buy these? The store? I'm going to go with you. Please take me. And he was like, yes, that is comic books. So the next time somebody tells you the comics are for kids, he's like, you show them this image of Batman breaking this fucker's spine. That's not for children. That's metal. And he taught me how to like stand up for shit you like. Like, you know, when people talk about me now, they're like, oh my God, he's like, you know, like on Twitter, I was like, fucking love this trailer. And people are like, you fucking paid shill. Like, not at all. It's just like, hey man, I fucking love this trailer. Walter taught me to embrace that, to never fucking apologize for liking something. Like Walter's like, so I don't give a shit that people don't like comic books. You're trying to tell me they think I'm stupid because I read The Watchmen? I think they're fucking stupid because they've never read The Watchmen. How about that? And I was just like, oh my God, he sticks by his guns and shit. Like that was impressive to me. And like fandom at all costs. These are my colors. So if you insult the thing I like, you're insulting me. And so I learned that from him, but he's more aggressive about it. Like, fuck you, I like this. I'm more inviting. I'm the guy that's just like, oh my God, I found this thing. I gotta share it with you. It's fucking dope. Have you seen this Captain Marvel trailer? And everyone's like, yeah, we're here on the world and the planet, so of course we've all fucking seen it. But some shit you can tell people about they've never heard about before. I just like to share shit. That's fucking fandom. And I got that from Walter, man. The idea of like, don't be fucking ashamed of the shit you like. Just fucking share it, man, loud and proud.
It can be a hard lesson.
It was easy coming from that fucking guy.
Absolutely.
You?
Yeah, I guess I have some shit to say a little bit. No, like fandom for me it's a thing you engage with. Like I am a fan of a bunch of stuff and have been ever since I was like 5 or 6. And Star Wars was the first real thing that I engaged with. Like I love this. I want all the things. But I never joined a fan club. I never went to like one of the meetings. I never got the pin for showing up for anything. I never drank the stale coffee outside the meetings in the church basement where we all talked about Star Wars.
They have groups like that?
They call them different things now. And so, like, absolutely, my childhood and my adolescence is just littered with the shit that I loved. Like, I loved Bugs Bunny, and I loved Andy Cap books, and I loved fucking Mad Magazine, and then I loved the Dukes of Hazzard because I loved Evel Knievel, and then I realized Dukes of Hazzard is, like, mostly racist, so maybe not that. And then Knight Rider shows up and gives me everything I loved about Dukes of Hazzard was a car jumping over shit, and he talks to you, and not nearly as racist, so I was all in on fucking Knight Rider. You know, and
I believe that was their commercial. When it first came out, Knight Rider, not nearly racist.
Like, maybe we don't put the fucking Confederate flag on the roof of this car. And my mom didn't understand why I loved fucking Dukes of Hazzard so much. She just couldn't get it. It's like, what do you love about this show? It's like, there's flaming arrows, they're jumping shit, they're rebels fighting against the law. He's like, all right, I'm hoping you grow out of this phase. Because we're going to have a rough conversation in a little bit if you don't
Meanwhile,
just leave this
Grandpa's like, there's no such thing as dinosaurs.
But I didn't truly engage in a fandom until I went to Comic-Con for the first time.
What year was that?
That would have been like 2002, I think. Because, again, I'd been fans of a bunch of shit, but I never went to like a Star Trek convention. I loved my comic book store, but it was a relatively solitary pursuit. I had a couple friends in high school, but we weren't like charter members of anything. We just liked reading comics. We liked playing D&D. We liked watching Dune too many times, and it was like, because we were the only ones who could talk the language of Dune to anybody else, because nobody else fucking watched Dune. But it wasn't until I got to Comic-Con and I saw people gathered all together by a thing that they love. You could walk down any fucking hallway in there and you'd stumble into a room filled with people who love a thing and decided to come from all over the world to be in that room at that moment with those people because they all love the same thing. And I had never engaged in it that way until I went to Comic-Con for the first time and found the people, some of which I had known in other walks of life, who happened to be there because they happened to like, oh shit, we work across the street from each other, 3,000 miles away, and you're stumbling out of this fucking Gundam thing, just you're loving this, awesome, dude, good for you. But and still, that for me is, my fandom is fandom at this point. My fandom is the love people have for the shit that maybe sets them apart, that maybe they never engage with truly, that maybe makes them outcasts. But they all love the same thing, and they love being together because there is strength in numbers. We are tribal people, you know, for better and for worse. And watching those tribes all gather under the happiest fucking place in the world for those 4 days. That is when I feel the most joy of being a fan, is watching other fans and watching the safe space that all those fans create for each other. So yeah, it wasn't until I became a grown-ass man I engaged in fandom in a real way. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
It absolutely
absolutely
does. Thank
fucking
you. Thank
does.
you very much.
Well,
Thank you,
great
guys.
question. As previously stated, you win tickets. Well done, man. Pleasure. All right, JC, another victim. What's your name, Captain?
Nick.
Everyone give it up for Nick.
Thanks. Jersey in the house.
What part?
Bergen County.
Oh, shit. I was
Yeah.
up north. I once played street hockey on a Bergen County indoor, it's not indoor, it's a surrounded rink. It was outdoor, but it like had official boards up and shit. When we played
cool.
street hockey at home, we put up, I didn't, Ed Hapstack, put up wooden boards around the tennis court to use as boards because, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ball slapping. If you slap a fucking ball on a fence, it just sticks in a
There's a
fucking
lot
fence.
of ball slapping.
Hell yeah, man. That's why I like field hockey. So we went once up in Bergen County and played at this like fucking amazing hockey rink that was made for outdoor hockey for inline skates and shit like that. Almost like, you know, oh my God, they got so much money. What state is this? And it's like, your state, motherfucker. Like, we're in the same state. But they never built us one of those. We had to kind of build our own. Anyway, that's all I got for Bergen. What do you got for me?
So, if you guys could take any iteration of any cinematic character, DC and Marvel, any timeline, and do a crossover film, for instance, like Keaton Batman with like Wesley Snipes Blade Marvel, what would you do? That would be mine, by the way.
That, number one, great fucking question, man. All right, so the idea is we're crossing over any era comic book movie. Yours is Keaton Batman versus Wesley Snipes Blade.
Yeah, or Jim Carrey The Mask.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. The Mask was an amazing comic book
One of the
movie.
first good ones.
Based on, yeah, really one of the first good ones, and based on, like, very close to the source material. Like, I'd read the book The Mask long before they made the fucking movie. It was just a great Dark Horse book. And when they were making the flick, you're like, they can't possibly do it. And they got pretty fucking close, man. But nobody really talks about it anymore. It's strange. I bet you that's a movie that's ripe for
The Mask.
remaking. Sooner or later, somebody's going to be like, oh my God, we could do so much more with effects. But Jim Carrey gave such an amazing performance, it'd be tough to top that. So maybe not. Okay, but that's the idea. The premise is movies that have existed, and we cross them over. You go first.
I will go World War II era Captain America.
Which movie?
First Avenger. We'll do that. Plus The Rocketeer.
Ooh! Ooh!
I will do Nazi fucking fighting. Same director, Joe Johnson, made both of those movies.
That's right, same director.
Nazi fucking punching in the air and on the ground.
Wow. I'm never going to beat that. That's fucking, God, that's good. I was immediately like just thinking of The Usual Suspects, but you grabbed, not that movie, but like fucking Batman versus who, but you went fucking classy. All right, let me think. Fuck, I can't top it. And now I'm trying to, and that's impossible. So it's going to be catastrophic failure if I try. So think, Kev, be logical. Any era. What do you love? All right.
All right.
Oh, I got it.
All right, it's coming heavy.
It's not going to be popular, but thematically, tonally, it's gonna match up a little bit. Not saying they're both same quality at all.
Lots of caveats here.
Yeah, I just don't want the internet to be like, can you believe what this idiot said this week? You know, but this is just, I think, tonally, you could smash these movies together, and it's got to be Marvel, DC, right? Or something.
Something.
All right, I'm never gonna beat that, so I'm just gonna toss this one out there. Thor Ragnarok, Batman Forever.
That works.
Ooh, part of me was hoping you were going to say Thor Ragnarok and Scooby-Doo.
And Scooby-Doo.
Your talking dog is interesting to me. Do you have any more Scooby snacks?
God, you gave a good answer, though. You can see those two fucking cross over. Fuck.
Sorry, man.
No, you beat me. I mean, look, at the end of the day, fucking that's good. And look, the question beat us both. It was amazing. Give it up for him, man. He won. Excellent job. Well, Jersey represents, man. Well done. Fuck, that was good. So good, I had a weak answer.
Best crossover is Teen Titans and X-Men.
Best comic book crossover? Teen Titans and X-Men? I agree. Wonderful. Wonderful book. All right,
Oh,
we got
shit.
one last set of tickets, and we got somebody standing here. What's your name, my friend?
My name's Eugene.
What is it, Eugene?
Yeah, Eugene.
Everyone give it up for Eugene.
You look sharp, Eugene.
I know, look at you. Did you come from work, or are you always dressed to go out like this?
Dude, I figured like it's church. Got to dress up for church, right?
Yes, that's true. We are kind of in the church.
You
You're
are
dressed
both
for
wearing
service.
blazers.
Actually, well, I've been here a couple times and I was wearing actually my suit every single time because it's just like I just feel like dressing up. I just like dressing up. But now that you're wearing the jacket too, I'm like, oh man, I gotta wear it too. I just
So
gotta-
you're like, I used to wear a jacket, then you started wearing a jacket. Now I'm in a suit. What the fuck are you gonna wear? I gotta get a tux. Next week I'll be here in a tux with tails. What can we do you for, sir?
Well, I got a question and a little bit of a gag. I've been waiting to do this, like ever since you announced it. But so, in honor of the fact that you're so committed to being a vegan, I want to present to you this copy of Scott Pilgrim Volume 3 that has Todd Ingram in it. And I hope that all the rest of the movies you make are well infused with your vegan powers.
Thank you, man. Fucking, I know we got a lot of meat eaters here, but thank you. But in our little secret club, this means something. Why this particular book? Is he vegan? in the book?
Yeah. He's so if you remember the story, he's actually one of the evil boyfriends, and he's a vegan, and he gets special powers because he's a vegan.
Brandon Routh played him in the movie.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, right on. Man.
Ovo lacto, bitch.
Was that the line?
Yeah, one of many.
Thank you for this, man. This means the fucking world. When I get home, I'm gonna show my kid, and she'll be like, "So," and I'll be like, "I got it because I'm a vegan," and she'll cry. So thank you, man. I love going home and making my kid cry. Thank you. That means a lot. All right, what can we do you for?
All right.
Number one, you give me a book, so you win tickets.
Yeah. All right. So, like, after I watched Suicide, like, okay, so before Suicide, this is like kind of a long thing because it's from Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Before I watched it, I was like super stoked just by looking at the character art design for like Katana, and then I watched the movie and was incredibly disappointed. And since then, I've been sort of dabbling, trying to make like a script for it, just for the fun, like a Katana movie. And I feel kind of guilty sometimes because I'm not Japanese nor a woman, so I'm like, how should I go about like writing this sort of script? Like what pitfalls am I not seeing? And both of you have written things with a female lead. So what is that process? What is your experience? Like, have you talked to your wives? How have you been able to handle that sort of headspace when writing that?
What a great question. Give it up, man. That's fucking... yeah, you know, I at least career-wise, I came up in an age where you could, I mean, Chasing Amy has a very strong female lead, but one could make the argument the movie's not about Alyssa. It's really about Holden, so it's still a male point of view. Dogma is a female lead, like Bethany is...
Actually, I was thinking Yoga Hosers, but...
Yoga Hosers, yes, that's right. Thank you for being the one person that saw it. But yes, you're right. Those are two female leads and stuff like that. I guess I have. I always just assumed in my head, I'm like, everything's kind of male dominated because you're a male. But I have kind of gone up to bat a few times. I mean, I feel strong female characters, but I have done some shit with female leads where the lead main character is a woman. What did I do? I mean, this sounds so fucking stupid, but I was just always fascinated by women my whole life and stuff. Like, I'm a guy, so I know how guys think, and I knew other guys, and I hung out with guys, and women were the mysterious other. And then once I started becoming friends with them at age like 6 or 7, Janine White was my first female friend at age 6 and stuff. And she was fucking fascinating, because A, she wasn't a boy and stuff, and B, she had a whole different point of view than I'd ever really heard before. I mean, my sister had a point of view, but fuck her, she's my sister. I never listened to her. But Janine was like my first female friend and put me on the road to like, man, fucking like women are way more interesting than men. And not just in the way of like, I'd rather have sex with women than the men, but just they're way more interesting. Like there's a lot going on and shit. And in the 70s when we were growing up, they didn't depict that. It was very fucking male heavy culture and stuff. So I think because I grew up with very strong women, my high school friends, Janet Peterson, Laurie Murchison, Debbie LePay, Jane Kurtz. Very strong females who were like very in charge. They weren't like, you know, oh man, they got horrible boyfriends that treat them bad and shit. They seemed in charge at all times. In some ways, every female character I write echoes back to the girls in high school that I grew up with, because that's what they were like. When you read about, you know, Alyssa is definitely informed by Joey Adams, but you know, the Clerks female characters, the Mallrats female characters, very informed by the women or girls that I grew up with in high school. Because I was like, you know, I wasn't the guy that was like, and I dated them all. No, nobody would fuck the fat kid. So like, we all became very, very tight and very friendly and stuff. So I think that's where I got the voice from. Not my mother by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not taking anything away from her, but Mom didn't have a particularly, like, you know, Mom got married at age 18 to my dad and became a housewife like right out of secretary school. Nothing wrong with this at all and stuff, but she didn't have a liberated like point of view or whatever. You know, she was kind of doing the suburban 3 kids and then a small house kind of thing. So it was other women. The ones I grew up with later on, ones I'd meet in the real world. My sister, later on in life, I joke about like ignoring her stuff. She was the one that introduced me to writing, to the notion that you could just sit down and start writing. I'd found a composition notebook under her bed, and I was like, what is this? And it was a picture, a drawing of her and her friends kneeling around a cellar door and stuff. Very crude drawing. Not crude like their tits were out, but crude because she was a child when she drew it, man. If I was like 5, she was 10 at that point. So I said, what's this? And she goes, that's a book I'm writing. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm writing a book about me and my friends. We go on an adventure. We find a secret door and we find stuff. We go on an adventure. And I was so baffled. I'm 5 years old. I don't know how the world works and shit, but I think I know what I know. And I'm trying to gaslight my older sister by going like, you can't write a book. You can't just write a book. You have to ask the government. And my sister's like, why do you think that? And I'm like, because we had to get a library card to get a book out of the library, man. The government has a say. And my sister was like, you're out of your fucking mind. Anybody could do whatever they want. They can write anything they want. Like, you don't have to ask permission to write. This don't look like a book from the library, but if it get published, it would look like a book from the library, but you don't need permission. You want to write something, just start writing something. And I wouldn't be for years. It's not like, and that day I wrote Clerks because I was 5. But that stayed with me. Years later, I would start writing for fun, not because somebody assigned it in school, but because like, this makes me feel good. I'm gonna put words together and see if I can make my brother laugh. So I think my friends growing up, my sister, later on, the women that I was were romantically involved with, Joey, of course, you know, there's no chasing Amy without Joey Adams. And then since marrying Jennifer, which is now we've been together 20 years and stuff, she's informed every female character that I've written from 1998 forward, from like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back forward. And people are like, well, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back isn't exactly the most like strong portrait of a woman. I mean, some woman falls in love with Jay. How fucking dumb is that? Like, but moving forward, like from there as well, Jersey Girl, Clerks 2, like Zack and Miri, all of that was informed by Jen. So I think that's where I got it from. That being said, you know, I'm not qualified to I can write a real strong female lead in a movie, but it's probably better if she's not the main focus. Like, I'm a male, so I know the male perspective. I should probably lean in toward that. Otherwise, I'm punching above my weight class, so to speak. And tough to explain the female experience from, you know, the perspective of like, I've been a man my whole life and stuff, but this is some shit I read, you know. You?
There's a pretty famous picture of Muhammad Ali when I think he had just won the gold medal in Rome, and he's underwater, he's in a pool, he's submerged in a pool, and he's boxing, he's going through like his fucking workout. Which is fake, by the way. He never did that. He did it because it's a photo op. The Life magazine photographer was like, well, we got this kid. He's got a bunch of energy. And Muhammad's like, I'll get in the pool. I'll pretend to show you how I work out, which he never worked out that way before.
Is that true?
But it made for an amazing photo op. So there's this amazing photo of him.
It's in the Creed trailer, too.
It totally is.
He's punching underwater.
And when you look at that photo, it's of a guy sort of going through the motions, but it's harder because he's underwater. But you can't really see the burdens on him. but you know that it's harder than it would be doing it on land. And I imagine, as I have been told time and time again, that women in this country, especially women of color in this country, are working twice as hard for half as much. And you never get to see the burdens that are holding them back, because you as a man really can't understand what those handcuffs are like. And so when I'm in drama, the key is finding a character, deciding what they want, and burdening them with hurdles to getting what they want. That's all drama is. Your hero wants something, they have a target, and they want to get there, and you put a bunch of shit in their way and make it hard for them to get there. And when they get there, they win the day, whatever that is.
Oh my God, you're right. It's like every movie and story I've ever read. You're right.
Yeah, it's like, fucking Odysseus wants to go home. All he wants to do is go home. What's in the way? 10 years of fucking horror and Scylla and Charybdis and all of this like mythological bullshit. It's the Warriors, which is the same thing. The gang just wants to get back to fucking Coney Island. What's in the way? Every other fucking gang in New York.
Nice pull.
And so when writing women, they want those things too, right? They have a goal that they want. They want a thing. Deciding whatever that thing is up to you. But it's realizing that some of the hurdles for them getting there, we can't see, because the world is arrayed against women in ways they aren't arrayed against men. And so the tonnage of that weight, the fighting those fights that we don't always get to see, makes them stronger in ways that men aren't, and resilient in ways that men aren't, and forgiving in ways that men could never be. And so it's just realizing that their paths are going to be different, but they want the same things, because they're human people who want the things that people want. They want warmth and safety and home and victory and all of that shit. It's just figuring that their path to get there will be slightly different. And it's opening yourself up to people in the world and like, hey, let's talk about X, Y, and Z. Let me see what your perspective is on A, Y, and Z. Let me read fucking something. Let me do some research. As a writer, if you don't know a thing, you look it up. You interview people. You sit down. You try and pretend to walk a mile in those shoes to get a sense of what that life is like and try and make that life feel lived in. It's different for me because I write things that explode in science fiction, so I'm never going to write like Erin Brockovich because I don't know what that life is like for that woman, but she wants something, and what's in the way of her wanting those things? The system. And so her path is, how do I overcome the system? By using everything at my disposal, including my breasts. And a male character can't do that, but that woman absolutely can. And so it's figuring out the line of that drama and figuring out how to make that character feel like it's somebody you would meet on the street. And I think that it's realizing that women are not just men with different parts, but they are still human beings who want the same things that everybody else does. But that's just me, and I write shit that explodes. So
that's good, but I would also add to that, every writer is a thief, right? Like we just steal from the real world. You hear shit and you're like, ooh, that's good. And you put it into something. And it's not necessarily, A for A and B for B in terms of like, I heard somebody say snoochie boochies once, although I did hear somebody say snoochie boochies and wrote it in a script. Thankfully, it was the guy that I know said it and shit. So if that's the case, most of the shit I've written is influenced by the people that have been around me. They're not all my thoughts and stuff. It's like you got to hear those voices in order to pull them in. So if you're having a hard time, I mean, this sounds dopey, but get yourself around the character. Get yourself around somebody that matches the character. If you're like, I want to write women better, start hanging out with a woman and just be like, download, man, give me everything. Just start stealing. Like, and not in a shitty way. Don't take her shit, but like, steal her thoughts, her mannerisms, like the things she says, like the nuances and whatnot. We're observers. Writers have to be observers first. And you only get to a place where you can write about things when you fucking studied it long enough and you're like, all right, I think I have a take on this. So it just helps to be around the subject matter.
Find yourself at a fucking baby shower, dude.
And it's not like if you were writing sci-fi, you're like, I don't know what a Wookiee thinks. Like, I can't tell you. Like, go find some Wookiees and talk to them and shit. Like, there you got to make some shit up. But you're talking about, like, they're like over half the population are women, so you could probably ask one of them, man, hey, what would you say? Just literally be like, here's what I'm writing. What would be the next thing you'd say? And then they'll call a cop on you. And maybe the next one will be more helpful. I don't know. Sounds like we're talking about them like they're Martians. Like, we must investigate these women.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just all of my female characters are informed by the women that are around me. Like I can default to that. A criticism I've received on a lot of shit I've written is like all of his female characters just sound like him. But to be fair, I get that criticism on all my characters. They all just sound like him, and I never found that to be criticism because I think that's the point. It's like if you're an artist, you want people to recognize you, and so like when people are like all his characters sound like Kevin Smith, I'm like, well, thank God they don't sound like Quentin Tarantino because he's already doing him, so I'm gonna fucking do me and shit. That's just a little side note about being you. We both answered.
We both answered.
It was a great question. You win fucking tickets. Get these fucking tickets. Excellent job. An excellent fucking suit. My God, we got some good commentary going. Some good fucking questions.
Yeah, man.
Always, it is. I mean, I always say like everyone's favorite part of the Q&A, but I think it's just my favorite part. I enjoy that part of the show.
I love it, and I've been to a number of Q&As, especially living in this town, and sometimes I get invited to screenings or whatever, and there's Q&As afterwards. And all too often, those questions from those crowds are the worst questions you've ever heard.
Yeah.
I am so fucking thankful that this particular audience is the smartest fucking audience I've ever seen.
I would agree, and that's not just like greasing the wheels and shit. Everybody paid, so fuck them. We got their money. This is more of an observation. You're absolutely right. That's as always. You see things. You see everything. You saw something that I never really noticed before. He's absolutely right. In normal Q&A scenarios, the questions tend to be kind of like if you're sitting there after a movie Q&A and somebody gets up to talk, you know, they'll sometimes ask a question where you're like, come on, really? Why would you fucking ask that? That's never really happened in this setting. I don't know if it has to do with like the fact that like you got to ask us both a question or they've heard previous episodes and stuff, but like no bullshit and not stroking anybody. The Q&A part, I always walk away, like that's the last part of the show. And when we leave here, we say goodnight, we go outside. And usually the first thing out of my mouth is like, that was fucking fun, man. We got some cool shit going on and stuff. So I'm legit always enthused by it and never surprised. But now that you mention it, I should be surprised because the standard Q&A fare isn't normally as good as we get here. So we're breathing rarefied air. It allows us to like look smart and give great answers, but it's starting with really fantastic questions. So thank you all for playing along, man. You guys are smart. Well done. That's all the fucking show we got, man. Are you satisfied? Have you been entertained? We will be back when I'm done shooting Supergirl, which I guess will be like, I think, second week in October. Meantime, check the schedule because Mark might be doing Blackman Beyond right here as a one-man show. And then after that, he follows it up with a one-man show where he plays Mark Twain as well. So, but as soon as I can get back, I'll come back and we'll do this again, man, because this is one of my favorite things in the world to do, ladies and gentlemen. Have you had a good time this evening? You do not have that good time without this establishment, man. Give it up for JC and Scum and Villainy Cantina. And we do not have fucking great conversation, otherwise you'd just be hearing a lot of fucking Jason Mewes dick stories. Were it not for the man standing next to me, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the great Mark Bernardin. And that is Fatman Beyond for this week, man. I'm Kevin Smith.
And I am Mark Bernard.
Tune in next time, same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Good night, everybody. Woo!